We see a young girl named Jae-hee who studies at a college and thinks of the probabilities of what can happen to her. However, she got alerts on her mobile about a game to empty the diamond cart because it had become full. She is sitting in her class, and she just forgot to keep her phone silent. Moreover, her friend taunts her for playing a trash game in which she has to mine diamonds all day. She asked Jae-hee why she cared if she was still playing the game or not. On the other hand, the game is trash in her friend's eyes, and the game's name is Infinite Diameter. It's a game with no story or world building. All the players have to do is collect diamonds by clicking that miners gather. The miners are called genomes. Furthermore, Jae-hee has been playing the game every day for 1 year, and she hasn't been bored with it for the whole year. Jae-hee only plays the game for one reason, which is a secret reward that she will get once she obtains 999,999,999,999 diamonds. Jae-hee is curious to know what the reward will be, and no one has achieved it yet. Jae-hee used to empty her diamond card for the whole year just to get the reward. Once a player starts the game, it becomes highly engaging and keeps them hooked until the end to get a reward. However, her friend suggested she play Terrarium Adventure with her instead, as it opens for pre-registered users because it's going to launch in the upcoming month. She told Jae-hee to register too, and she would do it for her. When she checked out the game, she found it's from the same developer as Infinite Dia. Moreover, her friend did her registration even without her permission. Jae-hee has doubts that when the new game Terrarium Adventure comes out, the Diamond Game server will go down. Jae-hee wants to achieve the reward as quickly as possible, even though she left the classes for it. She is thinking about the game and why a company would run a server for an unprofitable game. There are so many games she knows whose servers have stopped running after a year of operation, and they have put out notices of closure. In contrast, Jae-hee remembers the new game's visuals, which seem attractive. Jae-hee realizes that she has to empty her diamond cart twice a day, but at this rate, if the server goes down before she gets a reward, she finds only one answer: pay to win the game. Jae-hee spends the money on buying game stuff, which is a dumb idea as the game is about to be dead anytime soon. The miner's game starts mining so fast that she has to stare at her phone all the time. Moreover, she heard the alert sound, went to his room, and picked up her phone. She received a confirmation message of her pre-registration in the Terrarium Adventure game. The alert made her think about when she turned the silent mode off. Furthermore, Jae-hee gets another notification that her diamond cart is full and taps to collect the diamonds. It's the final cart that she has to empty to get the reward. The loading reaches 100%, she taps the cart, and she successfully collects 999 trillion diamonds for the achievement. Overall, all Jae-hee has to do now is receive the reward. She got a mystical key as a reward, which she wants to take a screenshot of but is unable to do so. Jae-hee is wondering if her phone is broken, and suddenly her phone brightness increases, blowing up her house. Jae-hee feels as if she is no longer in her home, and she ends up outside, where there is no tower that makes her think. She tries to use her phone to get her location, but her phone is dead now. Meanwhile, a man from inside a store said something rude to her aside from his manner, and she went out there. Also, another person understands her vagabond, and others let her think too. She sees herself in the mirror and finds her jacket trite, and she wonders where her beautiful, shiny jacket has gone. Additionally, she realizes the people around her are wearing weird clothes, and she knows in society they respect people according to their identities. She observes something really weird: bright-colored hair and even green skin. Jae-hee feels that she is crazy, and she feels like she is in an RPG game. Moreover, she spoke of a sale in which they are selling upgrade stones for 19 diamonds cheaper than the district price and appraising weapons for 3 diamonds. They are selling homemade potions cheaper than the options at Alchemist Tower, which are 5 diamonds per bottle. However, she doesn't understand why she is actually able to hear things. Maybe because she went mad about Infinite Diameter. Jae-hee was shocked to see them using game diamonds. She heard the sound, "Master," but she couldn't believe it. Until she heard them again, and they were asking her if she needed diamonds. She realizes that the sound is coming from her phone, and her phone opens. Surprisingly, she sees the miners on her phone and asks them why they are here. Jae-hee is just shocked to see the game appear on her mobile, which was dead. However, Jae-hee was relieved as her phone turned on. But on the other hand, there was something strange. The people in the game were talking not only to her but even looking at her, which scared her even more. The miners of the game ask her if she needs diamonds, and they tell her that the cart is full of diamonds and they have a lot of diamonds stored in the underground warehouse. Additionally, the miners tell her that in the fountain, the diamonds are coming out instead of gravel, and all the diamonds are for her. Jae-hee can use as much as she wants without even thinking. The miners want her to use the diamonds, but she is stuck thinking they are game diamonds and how she can use them. Jae-hee asked the miners when they became aware and how they could provide her with diamonds. They explained to her that they are their wallet, and if she wants to go on an adventure, then she will need a lot of diamonds. However, Jae-hees are not getting the answers to their questions. Miners are talking only about diamonds. Jae-hee wants to know her location, so she asks miners. They don't even know what she is talking about, but they suggest she use diamonds to solve her doubts. Jae-hee is frustrated now, and she knows that the game is not infinite dia, where doubts can be solved with diamonds. Jae-hee asked them how to get diamonds after they understood. In the meantime, a girl named Daisy came, and Jae-hee asked her if she would accept anything other than bread. Daisy tells Jae-hee that even a cup of clean water will be sufficient, or that because of the fire, the water sources in the town have become dry. Jae-hee tells her she does not have any water or bread, and she doesn't have anything through which she can get money. All Jae-hee has is her phone, and a few diamonds dropped from it, which shocked her because there is functionality like that in the phone. Jae-hee asks Daisy if she accepts diamonds, but she rejects them and explains that it is too much for her. Jae-hee asks Daisy to help her in exchange for diamonds, but she tells her that she doesn't have any skills that can protect her. Finally, Daisy accepts the bread from Jae-hee that she bought. Daisy gets that it's the first time for a Jae-hee. She tells Jae-hee that the town in which they are standing belongs to the Green Tree branch, so the situation of the town is much better than others. Jae-hee wants to ask Daisy a few questions, but she doesn't ask, seeing the desperateness of her eating the bread. Jae-hee bought 3 pieces of bread and 2 bottles of milk and 1 diamond. That's cheap for Jae-hee. Jae-hee can't carry the bread in her pocket, even though she doesn't feel the weight of the bread. She is going away from reality. Daisy takes Jae-hee to an inn, and the owner is so kind. Daisy says thanks and is about to leave, but Jae-hee asks her to work for her as she needs her help. Daisy reminds Jae-hee again that she doesn't have any skills with which she can protect her. Jae-hee tells Daisy that she is the only one who can help her, but although she doesn't understand exactly what Jae-hee means. Jae-hee gets an idea that kidnappers use, and she asks Daisy to eat with her and tell her about the place because she doesn't know about the town. Thus, Daisy agrees to help her, and they go to the restaurant, but she has doubts that she can buy a meal with the leftover diamonds. She was shocked to see that she still had diamonds in her phone wallet. Jae-hee uses her phone to get diamonds, while the miners offer her more and suggest that she buy clothes, weapons, an inn, and hire mercenaries. She is still unable to believe that it's from Infinite Dia. Jae-hee finally believes that these were from the Infinite Diameter. Additionally, she ordered a delicious meal that made Daisy's eyes light up. She wants to comfort her to ask questions, that's why she treats her best. Daisy, likewise, waits for Jae-hee to eat as a matter of manners and discipline. Jae-hee feels like a noble hearing Daisy. Moreover, Jae-hee asks Daisy why she calls her Druid, while she is not hungry, and Daisy cross-questioned her, saying that she doesn't come to this town to go for adventure, and other people don't go to other towns because of fire danger. Daisy tells her that the branch of the World Tree also bears fruit. In addition, Jae-hee accepts herself as a druid and whatever Daisy tells her. Consequently, Jae-hee tells Daisy a secret, that she is very rich, and she tells her that she can be cheated by people because she doesn't have much knowledge about the common people's lives. Therefore, Jae-hee asks her again for help, and Daisy agrees to help her with the knowledge she has. As a result, Daisy is slowly starting to feel comfortable now with Jae-hee, but Jae-hee is wondering if the diamonds she is spending on her really make sense to her. However, Jae-hee offers Daisy the chance to eat as much food as she wants. On the other hand, Daisy is ready to answer Jae-hee's queries, and they get a seat at the corner, but she even does not know if it's common sense or not. In contrast, Jae-hee is really confused, and she starts with the simplest question about the place they are in. Daisy tells her that the place is the 26th terrarium of the World Tree. Whereas, hearing this, Jae-hee realized that it couldn't be a place in Korea that made her so tense that she ended up in a weird place. Furthermore, the number of the terrarium means that the place belongs to the 26th branch of the World Tree. The smaller the number, the closer we are to the World Tree, and the bigger the number, the farther we are. This place is close to the World Tree compared to others, so it can be affected directly by the World Tree. That's why the town is saved from the fire, but if one steps out of the town, they can be attacked by the fire. Jae-hee really doesn't understand her, even though she ends up with more questions about whether the world tree and the fire Daisy is talking about are the same as the ones Jae-hee understands. However, Jae-hee makes Daisy feel that she is really helpful to her. Daisy is familiar with her, and Jae-hee is about to ask something. Meanwhile, a man steps into the restaurant and is looking for an inn to reach somewhere soon. He saw Daisy's red hair and scolded her to get out of the restaurant because the color red is inauspicious to him. Jae-hee stops her, but he is about to hurt Daisy. Seeing it, the owner of the inn lifts him up and throws him out. He tells the owner that he is a druid, and only the dryads can save them from fire. He tells the owner that a town that is not far away, succumbed, was attacked by the fire, and now it is nothing more than ashes. He tries to explain his value and how they should treat him. Jae-hee understands that they meant red-hot burning, but it seems the fire is like a monster. The owner explains to him that the fire doesn't matter where the business is, and if he creates chaos, then they have no option other than throwing him out. He takes his leave, saying this terrarium will regret it. Jae-hee tells Daisy to ignore guys like him, but she seems to be in shock, so she orders a glass of water, which costs extra because the water sources are dried up because of the fire. The price is a diamond for a bottle of water. Jae-hee gives her a glass of water to Daisy to drink, and she gets emotional because she is treated far better than the people who repair town walls. Jae-hee puts her hand on her head and makes her feel warmth. Daisy thanks her, and Jae-hee thinks about what the man earlier said, that the terrarium will be the one that regrets it. She feels that the druids, who put out fires, are important here. Finally, Jae-hee realized that the words sounded familiar, and when she thought deeply, she found that it was a game that her friend wanted her to pre-register for. Terrarium Adventure. And the words were written in the confirmation text in the message that she got earlier before coming into this place. She realizes that she is in the game, but virtual reality games have not been invented yet. Even Terrarium Adventure, a mobile game, is not out yet. Jae-hee asks Daisy if she can check her phone and repair it, as it was made with the miners called genomes. She remembers that her phone is her wallet now, and she asks Daisy if she has one, but she doesn't have enough diamonds that she needs. Jae-hee accepts the reality that this is a different world. As she thinks that she is in the game, her curiosity to know more is even greater. Jae-hee wants to know more about the game, and she is really excited about it. Additionally, her mind popped out with a lot of questions. If in this game she can level up, what's the goal, and is there any achievement system? She wonders if she can learn skills and put out the fire. Daisy asks her if she is scared, as Jae-hees can get a chance to go on adventures, but Jae-hee doesn't know the risks and dangers that one can face on the adventure. Furthermore, Daisy tells her how dangerous adventure is. In the village, there are many children who lose their parents because of the fire, and Daisy also loses her parents and becomes an orphan. Jae-hee apologizes to her if she freshens her wounds, but Daisy is kind-hearted. She doesn't feel bad. Daisy lives in a community center that is open to all orphans. Jae-hee realized that fire is a big social issue in this world, but it's also an issue in the original world too. Jae-hee compares firefighters to dryads, as their purposes are similar. Additionally, Jae-hee asks Daisy why the dryads are the only ones who can put out the fire. Therefore, she replies that they are born from the world tree and they have special powers. They are different from ordinary plants, which can't beat fire. Jae-hee remembers the guy who messed up earlier. From the game's perspective, it might be a town for newbies to start the game, and as she is just starting the game, she has nothing. Jae-hee knows she will be able to pull out dryads soon, as seen on the first page of the game. In conclusion, Jae-hee asks Daisy curiously what she has to do first to pull out dryad. Daisy tells her to wake up early in the morning. Tomorrow, she has to go to the orchard, a place where she can pick apples and pears. It sounds like a farming game. The owner of the place informed her that it is the time to close the restaurant, but Jae-hee is still left with many questions. Moreover, Jae-hee wants to wake up early, but she is not a morning person, and she can't wake on her own, otherwise she'd be sleeping. Jae-hee asks Daisy to help her until tomorrow and offers her a part-time job. The owner of the place suggested Jae-hee hire a professional instead of Daisy, as she is a child. In spite of it, Jae-hee wants a little help, so she prefers Daisy. Daisy mistakenly reveals Jae-hee's wealth, and the owner asks if she is a noble and how she came to a place like here, and Jae-hee gives her reasons. Jae-hee feels comfortable with Daisy, but the owner questions her if she looks into Daisy's eyes and just changes the topic. Consequently, there is an extra charge for Daisy to stay at the inn. but she says she would sleep outside. However, Jae-hee shows her kindness and pays for her morning meal, and even 3 bottles of water. The owner suggested Daisy follow Jae-hee's instructions, as Daisy generally has to sleep in a cold and narrow place. Moreover, Daisy showed her concern that he had used too many diamonds on her. Jae-hee is not worried about the diamonds, as she has a lot of them, and they even increase when she taps the cart. She couldn't even spend all the diamonds if she had to spend her life here. Jae-hee becomes a trillionaire overnight. All she has done is tap the cart in the original world. The diamonds drop more than needed from that phone, as her cart is full. It's the first time Daisy gets a chance to sleep on a soft bed. Daisy never gets paid that much, and she always has to worry about tomorrow's meal and water. Now that she's got all that, it feels like a dream to her. A dream from which she never wants to wake up. They say goodnight to each other, and Daisy assures Jae-hee to wake her up. In the morning, the orchard is shining golden, which amazes both, and there is a crowd with noise there. That concludes part 1 of this recap. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. What will happen next? If you would like to see a part 2 of this manhwa, let us know in the comments section below. Till next time. We see a young girl named Jae-hee who studies at a college and thinks of the probabilities of what can happen to her. However, she got alerts on her mobile about a game to empty the diamond cart because it had become full. She is sitting in her class, and she just forgot to keep her phone silent. Moreover, her friend taunts her for playing a trash game in which she has to mine diamonds all day. She asked Jae-hee why she cared if she was still playing the game or not. On the other hand, the game is trash in her friend's eyes, and the game's name is Infinite Diameter. It's a game with no story or world building. All the players have to do is collect diamonds by clicking that miners gather. The miners are called genomes. Furthermore, Jae-hee has been playing the game every day for 1 year, and she hasn't been bored with it for the whole year. Jae-hee only plays the game for one reason, which is a secret reward that she will get once she obtains 999,999,999,999 diamonds. Jae-hee is curious to know what the reward will be, and no one has achieved it yet. Jae-hee used to empty her diamond card for the whole year just to get the reward. Once a player starts the game, it becomes highly engaging and keeps them hooked until the end to get a reward. However, her friend suggested she play Terrarium Adventure with her instead, as it opens for pre-registered users because it's going to launch in the upcoming month. She told Jae-hee to register too, and she would do it for her. When she checked out the game, she found it's from the same developer as Infinite Dia. Moreover, her friend did her registration even without her permission. Jae-hee has doubts that when the new game Terrarium Adventure comes out, the Diamond Game server will go down. Jae-hee wants to achieve the reward as quickly as possible, even though she left the classes for it. She is thinking about the game and why a company would run a server for an unprofitable game. There are so many games she knows whose servers have stopped running after a year of operation, and they have put out notices of closure. In contrast, Jae-hee remembers the new game's visuals, which seem attractive. Jae-hee realizes that she has to empty her diamond cart twice a day, but at this rate, if the server goes down before she gets a reward, she finds only one answer: pay to win the game. Jae-hee spends the money on buying game stuff, which is a dumb idea as the game is about to be dead anytime soon. The miner's game starts mining so fast that she has to stare at her phone all the time. Moreover, she heard the alert sound, went to his room, and picked up her phone. She received a confirmation message of her pre-registration in the Terrarium Adventure game. The alert made her think about when she turned the silent mode off. Furthermore, Jae-hee gets another notification that her diamond cart is full and taps to collect the diamonds. It's the final cart that she has to empty to get the reward. The loading reaches 100%, she taps the cart, and she successfully collects 999 trillion diamonds for the achievement. Overall, all Jae-hee has to do now is receive the reward. She got a mystical key as a reward, which she wants to take a screenshot of but is unable to do so. Jae-hee is wondering if her phone is broken, and suddenly her phone brightness increases, blowing up her house. Jae-hee feels as if she is no longer in her home, and she ends up outside, where there is no tower that makes her think. She tries to use her phone to get her location, but her phone is dead now. Meanwhile, a man from inside a store said something rude to her aside from his manner, and she went out there. Also, another person understands her vagabond, and others let her think too. She sees herself in the mirror and finds her jacket trite, and she wonders where her beautiful, shiny jacket has gone. Additionally, she realizes the people around her are wearing weird clothes, and she knows in society they respect people according to their identities. She observes something really weird: bright-colored hair and even green skin. Jae-hee feels that she is crazy, and she feels like she is in an RPG game. Moreover, she spoke of a sale in which they are selling upgrade stones for 19 diamonds cheaper than the district price and appraising weapons for 3 diamonds. They are selling homemade potions cheaper than the options at Alchemist Tower, which are 5 diamonds per bottle. However, she doesn't understand why she is actually able to hear things. Maybe because she went mad about infinite diameter. Jae-hee was shocked to see them using game diamonds. She heard the sound, "Master," but she couldn't believe it. Until she heard them again, and they were asking her if she needed diamonds. She realizes that the sound is coming from her phone, and her phone opens. Surprisingly, she sees the miners on her phone and asks them why they are here. Jae-hee is just shocked to see the game appear on her mobile, which was dead. However, Jae-hee was relieved as her phone turned on. But on the other hand, there was something strange. The people in the game were talking not only to her but even looking at her, which scared her even more. The miners of the game ask her if she needs diamonds, and they tell her that the cart is full of diamonds and they have a lot of diamonds stored in the underground warehouse. Additionally, the miners tell her that in the fountain, the diamonds are coming out instead of gravel, and all the diamonds are for her. Jae-hee can use as much as she wants without even thinking. The miners want her to use the diamonds, but she is stuck thinking they are game diamonds and how she can use them. Jae-hee asked the miners when they became aware and how they could provide her with diamonds. They explained to her that they are their wallet, and if she wants to go on an adventure, then she will need a lot of diamonds. However, Jae-hees are not getting the answers to their questions. Miners are talking only about diamonds. Jae-hee wants to know her location, so she asks miners. They don't even know what she is talking about, but they suggest she use diamonds to solve her doubts. Jae-hee is frustrated now, and she knows that the game is not infinite dia, where doubts can be solved with diamonds. Jae-hee asked them how to get diamonds after they understood. In the meantime, a girl named Daisy came, and Jae-hee asked her if she would accept anything other than bread. Daisy tells Jae-hee that even a cup of clean water will be sufficient, or that because of the fire, the water sources in the town have become dry. Jae-hee tells her she does not have any water or bread, and she doesn't have anything through which she can get money. All Jae-hee has is her phone, and a few diamonds dropped from it, which shocked her because there is functionality like that in the phone. Jae-hee asks Daisy if she accepts diamonds, but she rejects them and explains that it is too much for her. Jae-hee asks Daisy to help her in exchange for diamonds, but she tells her that she doesn't have any skills that can protect her. Finally, Daisy accepts the bread from Jae-hee that she bought. Daisy gets that it's the first time for a Jae-hee. She tells Jae-hee that the town in which they are standing belongs to the Green Tree Branch, so the situation of the town is much better than others. Jae-hee wants to ask Daisy a few questions, but she doesn't ask, seeing the desperateness of her eating the bread. Jae-hee bought 3 pieces of bread and 2 bottles of milk and 1 diamond. That's cheap for Jae-hee. Jae-hee can't carry the bread in her pocket, even though she doesn't feel the weight of the bread. She is going away from reality. Daisy takes Jae-hee to an inn, and the owner is so kind. Daisy says thanks and is about to leave, but Jae-hee asks her to work for her as she needs her help. Daisy reminds Jae-hee again that she doesn't have any skills with which she can protect her. Jae-hee tells Daisy that she is the only one who can help her, but although she doesn't understand exactly what Jae-hee means, Jae-hee gets an idea that kidnappers use, and she asks Daisy to eat with her and tell her about the place because she doesn't know about the town. Thus, Daisy agrees to help her, and they go to the restaurant, but she has doubts that she can buy a meal with the leftover diamonds. She was shocked to see that she still had diamonds in her phone wallet. Jae-hee uses her phone to get diamonds, while the miners offer her more and suggest that she buy clothes, weapons, an inn, and hire mercenaries. She is still unable to believe that it's from Infinite Dia. Jae-hee finally believes that these were from the Infinite Diameter. Additionally, she ordered a delicious meal that made Daisy's eyes light up. She wants to comfort her to ask questions, that's why she treats her best. Daisy, likewise, waits for Jae-hee to eat as a matter of manners and discipline. Jae-hee feels like a noble hearing Daisy. Moreover, Jae-hee asks Daisy why she calls her Druid, while she is not hungry, and Daisy cross-questioned her, saying that she doesn't come to this town to go for adventure, and other people don't go to other towns because of fire danger. Daisy tells her that the branch of the World Tree also bears fruit. In addition, Jae-hee accepts herself as a druid and whatever Daisy tells her. Consequently, Jae-hee tells Daisy a secret, that she is very rich, and she tells her that she can be cheated by people because she doesn't have much knowledge about the common people's lives. Therefore, Jae-hee asks her again for help, and Daisy agrees to help her with the knowledge she has. As a result, Daisy is slowly starting to feel comfortable now with Jae-hee, but Jae-hee is wondering if the diamonds she is spending on her really make sense to her. However, Jae-hee offers Daisy the chance to eat as much food as she wants. On the other hand, Daisy is ready to answer Jae-hee's queries, and they get a seat at the corner, but she even does not know if it's common sense or not. In contrast, Jae-hee is really confused, and she starts with the simplest question about the place they are in. Daisy tells her that the place is the 26th terrarium of the World Tree. Whereas, hearing this, Jae-hee realized that it couldn't be a place in Korea that made her so tense that she ended up in a weird place. Furthermore, the number of the terrarium means that the place belongs to the 26th branch of the World Tree. The smaller the number, the closer we are to the World Tree, and the bigger the number, the farther we are. This place is close to the World Tree compared to others, so it can be affected directly by the World Tree. That's why the town is saved from the fire. But if one steps out of the town, they can be attacked by the fire. Jae-hee really doesn't understand her, even though she ends up with more questions about whether the World Tree and the fire Daisy is talking about are the same as the ones Jae-hee understands. However, Jae-hee makes Daisy feel that she is really helpful to her. Daisy is familiar with her, and Jae-hee is about to ask something. Meanwhile, a man steps into the restaurant and is looking for an inn to reach somewhere soon. He saw Daisy's red hair and scolded her to get out of the restaurant because the color red is inauspicious to him. Jae-hee stops her, but he is about to hurt Daisy. Seeing it, the owner of the inn lifts him up and throws him out. He tells the owner that he is a druid, and only the dryads can save them from fire. He tells the owner that a town that is not far away, succumbed, was attacked by the fire, and now it is nothing more than ashes. He tries to explain his value and how they should treat him. Jae-hee understands that they meant red-hot burning, but it seems the fire is like a monster. The owner explains to him that the fire doesn't matter where the business is, and if he creates chaos, then they have no option other than throwing him out. He takes his leave, saying this terrarium will regret it. Jae-hee tells Daisy to ignore guys like him, but she seems to be in shock, so she orders a glass of water, which costs extra because the water sources are dried up because of the fire. The price is a diamond for a bottle of water. Jae-hee gives her a glass of water to Daisy to drink, and she gets emotional because she is treated far better than the people who repair town walls. Jae-hee puts her hand on her head and makes her feel warmth. Daisy thanks her, and Jae-hee thinks about what the man earlier said, that the terrarium will be the one that regrets it. She feels that the druids, who put out fires, are important here. Finally, Jae-hee realized that the words sounded familiar, and when she thought deeply, she found that it was a game that her friend wanted her to pre-register for. Terrarium Adventure. And the words were written in the confirmation text in the message that she got earlier before coming into this place. She realizes that she is in the game, but virtual reality games have not been invented yet. Even Terrarium Adventure, a mobile game, is not out yet. Jae-hee asks Daisy if she can check her phone and repair it, as it was made with the miners called genomes. She remembers that her phone is her wallet now, and she asks Daisy if she has one, but she doesn't have enough diamonds that she needs. Jae-hee accepts the reality that this is a different world. As she thinks that she is in the game, her curiosity to know more is even greater. Jae-hee wants to know more about the game, and she is really excited about it. Additionally, her mind popped out with a lot of questions. If in this game she can level up, what's the goal, and is there any achievement system? She wonders if she can learn skills and put out the fire. Daisy asks her if she is scared, as Jae-hees can get a chance to go on adventures, but Jae-hee doesn't know the risks and dangers that one can face on the adventure. Furthermore, Daisy tells her how dangerous adventure is. In the village, there are many children who lose their parents because of the fire, and Daisy also loses her parents and becomes an orphan. Jae-hee apologizes to her if she freshens her wounds, but Daisy is kind-hearted. She doesn't feel bad. Daisy lives in a community center that is open to all orphans. Jae-hee realized that fire is a big social issue in this world, but it's also an issue in the original world too. Jae-hee compares firefighters to dryads, as their purposes are similar. Additionally, Jae-hee asks Daisy why the dryads are the only ones who can put out the fire. Therefore, she replies that they are born from the world tree and they have special powers. They are different from ordinary plants, which can't beat fire, Jae-hee remembers the guy who messed up earlier. From the game's perspective, it might be a town for newbies to start the game, and as she is just starting the game, she has nothing. Jae-hee knows she will be able to pull out Dryad soon, as seen on the first page of the game. In conclusion, Jae-hee asks Daisy curiously what she has to do first to pull out Dryad. Daisy tells her to wake up early in the morning. Tomorrow, she has to go to the orchard, a place where she can pick apples and pears. It sounds like a farming game. The owner of the place informed her that it is the time to close the restaurant, but Jae-hee is still left with many questions. Moreover, Jae-hee wants to wake up early, but she is not a morning person, and she can't wake on her own, otherwise she'd be sleeping. Jae-hee asks Daisy to help her until tomorrow and offers her a part-time job. The owner of the place suggested Jae-hee hire a professional instead of Daisy, as she is a child. In spite of it, Jae-hee wants a little help, so she prefers Daisy. Daisy mistakenly reveals Jae-hee's wealth, and the owner asks if she is a noble and how she came to a place like here, and Jae-hee gives her reasons. Jae-hee feels comfortable with Daisy, but the owner questions her if she looks into Daisy's eyes and just changes the topic. Consequently, there is an extra charge for Daisy to stay at the inn, but she says she would sleep outside. However, Jae-hee shows her kindness and pays for her inn, morning meal, and even 3 bottles of water. The owner suggested Daisy follow Jae-hee's instructions, as Daisy generally has to sleep in a cold and narrow place. Moreover, Daisy showed her concern that he had used too many diamonds on her. Jae-hee is not worried about the diamonds, as she has a lot of them, and they even increase when she taps the cart. She couldn't even spend all the diamonds if she had to spend her life here. Jae-hee becomes a trillionaire overnight. All she has done is tap the cart in the original world. The diamonds drop more than needed from that phone, as her cart is full. It's the first time Daisy gets a chance to sleep on a soft bed. Daisy never gets paid that much, and she always has to worry about tomorrow's meal and water. Now that she's got all that, it feels like a dream to her. A dream from which she never wants to wake up. They say goodnight to each other, and Daisy assures Jae-hee to wake her up. In the morning, the orchard is shining golden, which amazes both, and there is a crowd with noise there. That concludes part 1 of this recap. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. What will happen next? If you would like to see a part 2 of this manhwa, let us know in the comments section below. Till next time, Jae-hee and Daisy reached the orchard, but there were many people. Additionally, it seems like a tourist place. Daisy apologizes to Jae-hee for bringing her late, while she is not going to wake up, even though Daisy tried. Jae-hee lifts Daisy up, scared of her swiping away from the crowd, but Daisy doesn't want to be a burden for Jae-hee. Jae-hee understands that all are druids here, but Daisy explains to her that there are a lot of specters too. Jae-hee is thinking about getting a number. Moreover, a lady asks her if she needs help. Jae-hee told her that she wanted numbers, and the lady told her that the free numbers were already given. Hearing this, Daisy tells Jae-hee that if they are unable to get it today, then they have to wait for a year, and she asks if they have paid passes. They get diamond passes and enter the orchid. The lady explains to her that the world tree bears food once a year. Hence, they have very limited free passes, and because of that, some people even come 3 days before to get a number. She is astounded to see the fruits of the world tree. Furthermore, other people see her with a smirk, and Jae-hee finds the environment unpleasant. Everyone is feeling different emotions. Some want a rare dryad, while others are not expecting anything special or unique. Daisy is just expecting normal. There is someone who has gotten the unique, and the possibility of getting more than one unique from the same tree branch is nearly 0. Some are confused and want to give up. The dryads have different rarities, and one can get them by drawing from the world tree. It's something like a character card one can get by drawing from the world tree. Jae-hee doesn't like gacha, a type of video game, but now she has a lot of money, and she was always covetous of those who spent on gacha without even thinking. However, Daisy is nervous because it's her first time and because of the environment. Jae-hee cheers up Daisy and asks her if they should go to draw fruits. Otherwise, she will give her diamonds instead to make her happy. But Daisy declines to get diamonds and shows her feelings that Jae-hee is enough for her. They are ready to go to draw the fruit. Jae-hee asks the lady when she should pay the diamonds, but the lady told her that once she gets fruit, she can pay because they have to maintain the balance of the orchard, which is done with the diamonds. One fruit costs 300 diamonds, and knowing the cost made her understand why a person earlier said that he had sold the land, because if a fruit costs 3 diamonds, then it's equivalent to 900 pieces of bread and 600 bottles of milk. But Jae-hee doesn't need to worry about that because she has lots of diamonds. Two druids are discussing the colors of the fruits. One is glossy and the other is weird to them, but for Jae-hee, they all look the same. Nonetheless, Daisy is still sad, so Jae-hee pushes her forward to pick fruit for her, which surprises her, but Jae-hee tells her not to worry and pick anyone. Daisy is about to pick them up, but in the meantime, the same guy who messed up with Daisy came there and stopped them. That guy asks them how many fruits they are about to pick up, but Jae-hee doesn't understand why he wants to know. The guy says that it's important for him. He is about to pick one with his lucky number, and when someone chooses one, it will match his number. Till now, he seems like a superstitious guy to Jae-hee, but after hearing this, he is just a crazy guy in her eyes. The guy loses his sanity and scolds Daisy because of her red hair color. His plan is ruined, and he becomes late for the orchard. He forced her to collaborate with him and match his lucky number. However, Jae-hee becomes angry at the guy scolds Daisy for her red hair color, forcing her to hide her hair. His words hit Jae-hee, and she becomes angry at him for his rude behavior with Daisy. Jae-hee's head is hot, and she is raining on the guy for talking rudely and nonsensically to Daisy. Additionally, Jae-hee is not in a mood to tolerate him anymore. Jae-hee rudely told him that if he is going to believe in succinct superstitious things, then nothing is going to be better for him. Moreover, Jae-hee, with the swagger, questions him, saying that if he wants to get a number, why doesn't he pay twice for the number? Arrogantly, the guy asked her if he knew the price of a fruit, and she rudely told him that 300 diamonds were expensive for him, not for her, and why did they need to tolerate the attitude of someone as poor as him? Others are just understanding that Jae-hee is just showing off while they are unaware of the quantity of diamonds she has. In addition, Jae-hee told Daisy to pick one, and she feels the fruit is warm. Jae-hee picks the 5 of them, and she has to pay 1,500 diamonds for it. Jae-hee uses her mobile wallet, and tells the miners to drop the whole cart of diamonds, which left all the people shocked. The diamonds exceed, and she pays a few more, gets another number, and tells Daisy to pick another one as she is lucky. Daisy picks another one, and the guy is burning with anger, but he is helpless now in front of a diamond-rich person. The lady walks them to the greenhouse. Furthermore, Jae-hee is feeling awesome after spending that many diamonds and just zipped off the guy's mouth. In all honesty, Jae-hee was on the verge of bursting when she counterattacked him. Jae-hee will never be able to do that if she is in the past. She is feeling confident because she has lots of money. They reach the greenhouse, and there is a place where, if one puts dryads, they will bloom. Additionally, they can also get the genetic information of the fruit through the stone plate that is placed next to it. The world tree has the genetic information of every dryad in the world. All dryads are born through the fruits of the world tree. No one can say what type of dryad it will be until it's fully bloomed in the greenhouse. However, through the stone plate, one can know the genetic information in advance during the germination stage of the fruit. Furthermore, dryad's grade depends on the genetic information. The more rare and valuable the information, the higher the grade will be. If dryad genetic information is not valuable, then one can stop it from blooming, and it can be used as a normal fertilizer, which means it can be used as a source of nutrients for dryads of higher grades. Daisy seems to be uncomfortable hearing that and takes her leave, excusing her for something urgent. Moreover, Jae-hee puts the fruit on the stone plate, and she is very excited to know about it, but there is no data in it. The lady tells her it's a fruit with no dryad information. She tried 3 more, and all were found to be bummers with no dryad information. She is disappointed, but the lady tells her she can sell these bummers and pick up another fruit. Additionally, she has so many diamonds that even she can buy all the fruits outside, but she wants to try those that Daisy has picked. She prayed for its first dryad, and she wants to raise it, whether she has to buy anything for it. The fruit cracks, and it's an elderflower with the title, Gift from God, Language, Devotion, Habit, Normal, and Values, Medicinal, Safety, and Charm. Jae-hee always keeps the things with her that are first for her, even though she can't use them anymore. Additionally, she didn't sell or throw them, but she kept all that with her. This time, the dryad also came first to her, which makes it special for her. Moreover, the final rank of the dryad is confirmed as unique, which makes her superbly happy. The dryad has the recovery and support attributes that make it rare. This dryad might be able to help her in combat, and the lady asked her if she wanted to bloom it immediately. Furthermore, the dryad is a healer, and in Jae-hee's eyes, it is important because a healer brings the entire team up. The lady asked Jaehee to show her terrarium artifact. She is just confusingly smiling because she doesn't have anything like that, and she asked the lady if she doesn't have a terrarium artifact. So does that mean she is not a druid? But nothing is like that. Her expectations are broken, but hope lights up when the lady tells her that her concerns are right, but she lacks knowledge. She tells her that she is definitely druid because she has communicated with a dryad, and a dryad can only converse with a dryad. Normal people can't talk to dryad, even if he understands them, but conversation is not possible between them. Even dryad looks like a human, but their true form is a plant. Additionally, a druid is blessed by the world tree. That's why a druid can talk to nature and is able to talk to dryads. The lady tells Jaehee that Daisy is also a dryad that left Jaehee shocked. Jaehee realized Daisy's name is related to daisy flowers, and when she thought deeply, she found she had no memory of her talking to any human. The daisy plant species is common, and the lady confirmed that Daisy is dryad. The lady assumed Jaehee had done soul linking seeing Daisy with her, but when she left, the lady reconsidered. Jaehee is feeling confused by all of that, but knowing that Daisy is a dryad, she wants to find her. Moreover, the lady tells her that she already has the terrarium artifact. She just didn't realize it yet. Dryads can't live long after being separated from the world tree, and a druid must provide an environment for dryads similar to the world tree. A druid itself becomes a small tree for dryads. Druids are needed to provide a piece of their soul as a place of rest. Jaehee has a lack of knowledge, but she still tries. Jaehee closed her eyes and started thinking about world tree blessings, but the lady guided her to feel the environment of the greenhouse in her body, which is created as the image of the world tree. She feels the fresh air, warm light, cool smell of the pond, and fragrance of the dirt. Furthermore, Jaehee finally did it and got a bracelet that is her terrarium artifact. She touched the terrarium once, and they got into it, which is a place for dryads to rest when they get injured. The place is connected to druids, which makes dryads feel comfortable. Jaehee is full of energy now and wants to collect dryads in her terrarium. The lady guides her to bloom the seed in her hand with the help of a terrarium artifact. The seed imprints on the soul of the one who touches it first when it blooms. The seed blooms, a handsome, golden shining personality appears, and he realizes that Jaehee has bloomed him. Dryad is so rude that his words pierce Jaehee's heart. Additionally, Jaehee is not expecting any such rude behavior, as Daisy is far better than him. The lady says it depends on the level of closeness, as the dryad just came to this world and everything is new to him. Furthermore, the dryad insulted Jaehee about her clothes and money. Dryad made his wish that he wants a druid that treats him well and is so rich that it can provide a temple built of gold. Moreover, the dryad is so selfish, and the lady says there might be a way to increase the level of closeness. The dryad said he wants to go back to the world tree until the right owner, who deserves him, arrives. The lady tells the consequences that if a dryad wants to go back, the soul link is disconnected and it has to face the pain of being rotten and cold, then it returns to the world tree. But it's far better in Dryad's eyes than being with Jaehee. The Dryad called Jaehee poor, which made her angry, and she dropped some diamonds that filled the room. Additionally, Jaehee offers him a bunch of diamonds throwing on the ground and asks him to take them on his knees, and he really kneels down to pick up the diamonds. He asked with cuteness if Jaehee was really giving him diamonds. Jaehee said yes because his face was so pretty that she couldn't deny him. The Dryad accepts Jaehee as his master when she gives him diamonds. He feels like a dog trainer. Furthermore, Jaehee wants to bloom the left fruits, but hearing this elderflower, first Dryad, puts an objection that she needs more while he is perfect. Elderflower just expressed objection because he doesn't want Jaehee to use diamonds on other Dryads, but she ensures him that she has enough diamonds to fill his pockets. Jaehee put the next fruit on the stone plate, and the rank was confirmed as special, which blew her mind. Jaehee got a special Dryad, and it has been 10 years since a special Dryad appeared. Additionally, the Dryad's name is Velvet Mesquite with the language, tenacious heart, habitat, desert field, values, safety, and attributes of defense and support. Special rank is higher than the unique rank, and Jaehee is not expecting anything amazing to happen to him that she will get special rank Dryad. Moreover, Jaehee is confused if the rank is inverse of the personality, as Elderflower seems to be inverse of his grade. She is scared that this dragon will hit her or treat her badly. The lady is excited, so she asked her to bloom it without wasting any time. Furthermore, Jae-hee had no dear because she has nothing to lose whether any dryad appears with the trash personality because the diamond can surpass them. Jae-hee touches the seed, putting it on her palm, and it flies up, and a golden light comes from it. It feels hot, like the winds of the desert are coming from it. Elderflower comes forward and uses his barrier to protect Jae-hee from the hot winds. A knight with a big weapon comes out of the golden light, and Jae-hee is amazed to see it. The Velvet Mesquite sees her, and Jae-hee feels a wave of fear seeing its shield and weapon. Additionally, Velvet Mesquite moves forward to Jae-hee, and she scares her like it's about to hit her, but it puts off the shield and weapon and removes his helmet. Velvet Mesquite is revealed to be a lady, and she kneels down and picks up Jae-hee's hand. It has been decades since she has seen any druid, but this time she sees a weak and thin druid. Velvet Mesquite tells her that she will protect the one who will be her master until the day she returns to the dust. Jae-hee feels awesome hearing her words, and Elderflower asked Velvet why she appeared again, as according to him, she has gone extinct. Furthermore, Velvet is curious to know who Elderflower is, but she knows him from before. Velvet tells them she is not extinct, she just returned to the World Tree, giving a reason that her previous druid thinks she still has work left to do. Elderflower tells Velvet that he is the first dryad of Jae-hee, but it doesn't matter for her as being on the Jae-hee side is sufficient for her. In addition, Velvet asked Jae-hee her name, and she told her, Jae, as she always used this name in the games and it was suitable for her. Velvet calls her Jae and promises to protect her, and Jae-hee is just feeling awesome with the Velvet behavior. Jae-hee thinks as a human that she knows the time to go or stop, so shouldn't she go and try to pull more fruits through which she might be able to meet more handsome and beautiful dryads? Jae-hee is thinking all of that, and her head suddenly. Jae-hee is about to fall, but Velvet grabs her, and Jae-hee seems weak, but Elderflower puts his hand on her head and heals her. Jae-hee specializes in healing dryads, but his healing powers work on humans too. Jae-hee feels far better than she was feeling, and Elderflower puts a price of 100 diamonds for it but takes his words back, telling her it was a joke. She falls weak because she has reached her soul limits. As we know, druids and dryads are connected by souls, and for that, one has to become a small world tree itself and share their powers with them. The power is that soul power that one has to share. Moreover, the higher the grades of the dryads, the more soul power is needed to share. If Jae-hee gets more dryads at this time, her body will not be able to bear it. As she knows, she just got shocked and remembered the cost system, which is that no matter the space one has for the characters, one can only choose a character according to their cost. For example, if the cost is 30, then one can only choose the characters whose combined cost will not exceed 30. Jae-hee wants to fill her terrarium artifact with the dryads, but her dreams seem to be broken for now. Additionally, Jae-hee can build his soul power by spending her time with dryads, and the quickest way is to fight in the battles with her dryads. In simple words, it means that she has to level up while still having lots of diamonds, but the diamonds can't be of help in this case. Jae-hee is now happy with one unique and special dryad, and she wants to meet Daisy. Velvet is well behaved with Jae-hee, which fills her eyes with tears of happiness. Jae-hee wants to see her dryads in the terrarium artifact, and Velvet just went to the side, and she got smaller. Jae-hee answered a few questions when she got in, saying that the terrarium artifact would not be affected even if she moved. Elderflower sees the terrarium artifact deserted, so he gives advice to Jae-hee. When she has that many diamonds, why doesn't she put something inside it? Elderflower tells her that she can buy all that stuff at the workshop and demands luxuries, saying to avoid cheap items. Jae-hee told Elderflower to get in the terrarium artifact a bit rudely, and he told her that she acts differently when talking to Velvet Mesquite, but as she told him that she would give him diamonds, Elderflower went inside in the blink of an eye and reminded Jae-hee that she had promised him diamonds, while Jae-hee wondered how he could use those diamonds in any way. Furthermore, Jae-hee zooms in on the terrarium artifact, and she sees that both dryads are going in opposite directions. Velvet tells Jae-hee that she is decorating her home, and she can't live with the Elderflower because their natural habitats are different from each other. Velvet has known Elderflower since he was a child, so she called him a kid, which makes him a bit angry, but she reminds him that she took care of him when he was a kid. Jae-hee starts imaging, and Elderflower stops her from imagining strange things because the dryads rise up differently than humans. Jae-hee wonders how he knows that she is thinking of which answer she got from Velvet, and that as she thinks while looking into terrarium, her thoughts go straight to them. Jae-hee is able to hear them while being far away with the help of a terrarium artifact. Velvet is standing on the deserted field, while elderflower is on a grass field. Velvet puts a baby plant in it, and it converts into a big velvet mesquite tree, the mother plant of mesquite. The terrarium can be decorated with the mother plant of Jaehi and collect more dryads. Velvet tells about her tree, which is strong enough that its roots go 9 meters deep into the ground. In the desert where Velvet stands, there is always groundwater to which she is now guardian. Elderflower shows that his flowers are also beautiful and aromatic. Both dryads are busy decorating their home, so Jaehi thinks about going to find Daisy. When Jaehi came out of the greenhouse, it was already dark, and the lady wished her a safe trip. Jaehi thanked her for guiding her, while the lady showed an act of kindness and told her that she should say thanks because her deal was great and 10 times better than others. Jaehi is feeling like a VIP customer. In the real world, she is a VIP customer at the roadside shops only, but in this world, she even doesn't get jealous of celebrities. Jaehi is ready to go to look for Daisy. Jaehi is thinking about Daisy, but additionally, she doesn't know who Daisy really is, where she has gone, or where the community center is. Jaehi came to the inn, and the owner welcomed her. She wondered if she remembered her, to which she replied, "How can she forget someone who came with Daisy?" Jaehi asked the owner if Daisy came back there, but she didn't, and consequently Jaehi asked the owner if she knows that Daisy is dryad, and she says that finally Jaehi noticed that. Therefore Jaehi questions her if the case is that Daisy is hiding that she is dryad. Jaehi tells the owner that she didn't know until someone told her that Daisy is dryad. The owner finds Jaehi a good person, so she starts telling her about Daisy. Daisy came last year at the time when the world tree bears fruit. Jaehi remembers that's because dryad are not born wild, they are born in the orchard. Jaehi got the point immediately that Daisy is a dryad, so she definitely had a master, but it was for a moment, and her soul connection to her master has been cut short at one instance. A dryad being wild means that it has to suffer from cold, and the pain of their body being rotten. Daisy's master was so harsh, he didn't see her cuteness, and he tried to use violence, but at the nick of time, a druid saved her by giving her fruit to him. Daisy ran away from the orchard as her soul connection was cut off. Furthermore, after hearing the history of Daisy, Jaehi is burning with anger at Daisy's ex-master, who treated her harshly. Jaehi realizes why Daisy ran away from her in the orchard. She was feeling what she felt in her past. The owner of the inn, when she knew about Daisy's situation, started giving her food. The owner can't talk to Daisy being a human, but she knows from her expression that she can never blame anyone. Jaehi realized that she started hating her when she knew that she was like her ex-master. Jaehi is deeply thinking about Daisy, which triggers her emotions, and Dryad came out of the terrarium artifact. Velvet asked Jaehi the reason that made her angry, and Elderflower asked if it was a person or Dryad that she wanted him to kill, but she was just thinking about Daisy. Jaehi asked the owner if she should look for Daisy at the community center. The owner shows her the way to the community center, and the owner is hoping that Jaehi can heal the wounds that Daisy's past has given her. Velvet asked Jaehi if she was worried about Daisy. She knows Daisy is not connected to her soul, but Jaehi wants to find her, and Velvet showed her concern that her heart aches when Jaehi cries, and she would try her best to find Daisy while it's hard to do because it's a common species. Velvet wants to help Jaehi find Daisy, and additionally, Velvet Mesquite is the guardian of the desert. She is able to find groundwater, but she can also find other things with this ability. Velvet knows all the genetic information, and if a dryad is born from the world tree, then she can use the information from the ground to find where the dryad stepped in. The elderflower title is gift from God, but it can also be a lucky charm. Elderflower branches can be used as lucky charms, which might consequently increase the luck of Velvet Mesquite and increase the chances of finding Daisy. Jaehi becomes emotional and thanks them. Velvet asked Jaehi if she had to find a common species of daisy, but she specified that Daisy's hair is red, which makes it a bit easier to find out. Therefore, Elderflower told Jaehi to stand back because Velvet used his weapon and hid it inside the ground, but more deeply because it's a special day and there are lots of dryads in the town, and Daisy is a common species with weak energy that makes it harder to find out. That's why she has to dig her roots deeper in order to find Daisy. Elderflower lifts Jaehi up in order to protect her from the Velvet Earthquake because they are close to the main source. The effect will be the same as before, but the earthquake is ineffective on Elderflower because his roots are grown deep. Velvet found a place, not an exact location, but a place where Daisy was likely to be. The direction is towards the community center, so she must be around there. Moreover, Velvet also found some sort of information about other dryads around the area, and she doubts that Daisy is in trouble. They reach the place, but the area is too big, that's why it's hard to find. Velvet can use an earthquake to find it, but the buildings are near and can collapse, so she can't use it. Jae-hee ran so fast that her breath was throwing up. Jae-hee hears something on the other side of the wall. Velvet went to check, and she asked Jae-hee to confirm if she was looking for Daisy with red hair. Elderflower takes Jae-hee up on the wall, and they see druids standing in a circle. Velvet senses a young seedling, while the world tree never sends young seedlings into the world. Elderflower found a bond that Jae-hee is having with a wild dryad. Jae-hee feels that the dryad she is looking for is forced into the wild state, which means that at the time when their souls were disconnected, it was druid that forcefully broke the link between the souls. Generally, the master has to provide a piece of their soul to the dryad in order to ensure that the dryad live without any difficulty until it returns to the world tree. In some cases, when a dryad noi goes through that process, it loses its power, becomes contaminated, and turns into seedlings. If Daisy enters a state smaller than her current state, then she will return to the world tree. Jae-hee realized that Daisy might be down there, and she wants to go down. Elderflower holds her and takes her down. It was the superstitious people he met before standing there, and she told them to move aside, but a green hat person was about to use a leaf on Jae-hee, but Velvet destroyed it with her weapon. They move aside, and Jae-hee sees Daisy lying down on the ground. Daisy is injured and unconscious. Additionally, Jae-hee calls out Elderflower to heal Daisy, but he tells her that Daisy can't absorb his healing energy since their souls are not connected and because Elderflower doesn't have any bond with this particular species of Daisy. Daisy is suffering severely, and consequently, Jae-hee tried to wake her up to heal her. The superstitious guy wants to kill Daisy and use her as fertilizer. The guy calls Jae-hee greedy and tells her to leave Daisy because she will die anyway. The guy warns Jae-hee. Hearing this, Jae-hee asked him if he was responsible for Daisy's condition, and without any shame, he said yes, which made Jae-hee angry. The guy mate asked him, and he said that Jae-hee has only a red-haired dryad, Daisy, but she has higher graded dryads now. The guy knows that one is a healing type and another is a defense type, and if they attack simultaneously, there is a chance for them to win, but they are unaware of the true power of the dryads that Jae-hee has. Jae-hee is angry at the ex-master of Daisy and the superstitious guy who injured Daisy, and they should feel the worst they made Daisy feel. Meanwhile, Daisy opens her eyes and congrats Jae-hee on her new high-grade dryads. Jae-hee shares her concerns and tells Daisy that she is her lucky charm, and without her, Jae-hee's luck is incomplete. Jae-hee requests Daisy to become her dryad, and Jae-hee ensures her that she will keep her happy as she brings her luck. Jae-hee hugs Daisy, and she feels her like an old, dying tree that has only a smell of dust. Daisy says dream and jumps up to save Jae-hee from the acid fruit bomb. Daisy is severely injured by the bomb. Therefore, Elderflower used luck, and Velvet quickly moved and killed all the enemies. Jae-hee is worried about Daisy, and moreover, she doesn't even have a soul vessel to absorb the healing energy of the Elderflower anymore. Elderflower said the truth, it's over, but Jae-hee is worried and crying for Daisy. After bearing that much pain, Jae-hee doesn't want Daisy to leave her, but death is already waiting for her. Consequently, Daisy says that she is okay with the pain, and at some point she couldn't feel any pain anymore. Daisy shows her emotions for Jae-hee, saying that if she got hurt, it would break her heart. Daisy is happy that Jae-hee is fine and that she met a precious person in her life who wanted her even for every moment. Furthermore, it was a dream for Daisy, but when she helped Jae-hee, it was a really happy moment for her. Daisy says in her last words that her luck is Jae-hee and her hope too. Jae-hee gets too emotional and holds Daisy's hand tight. It is the first time for Jae-hee to see someone die whom she knows. Therefore, Daisy is the first in the game to come to Jae-hee and guide her. Elderflower lifts up Jae-hee and tells him to see Daisy. Daisy is shining golden and then turns into a golden fruit. Velvet gives it to Jae-hee and says that it's Daisy's hope. Moreover, Elderflower explains to Jae-hee that pure dryads are born from world trees and return to them when their lives end. However, when the mother plant is combined with another species other than the world tree, it becomes an improved species, and sometimes a special power that even one doesn't know about is engraved into their soul. This is the reason that Daisy stays here instead of returning to the world tree, and the power is none other than resurrection. It's the golden fruit, and it is ready to be reborn. Consequently, Jae-hee is able to feel her warmth, as if it is alive. Jae-hee minds is now wondering, with the question of what she should do to bloom other dryads. Should she do it right now, and does she go to orchids to do it? Jae-hee can go to the orchard and use the dryad pot. They are ready to go to the place where they first met and to say hello to Daisy again. Meanwhile, Velvet makes the path for them to go. Furthermore, Velvet shows her emotions that at the path, foes can be found, but if anyone comes in the Jae-hee path, she will pierce it, whether it's her brother from the same branch. Jae-hee is important for them as she is like a small world tree, and she provides value to their existence. Elderflower assured Jae-hee that there was nothing that could hurt her, and they moved forward with positivity. They reached orchard, and moreover, it's quiet there because it's night and everyone has gone. The lady who is the guide asks her to help, and Jae-hee tells her that she wants to use the dryad pot. The lady is disappointed, knowing that Jae-hee already has fruit. They went to the greenhouse, and it is shining even at night because it is an imitation of the world tree. Furthermore, Jae-hee wonders if the world tree imitation is that fantastic, then how much more the world tree can be. Jae-hee has doubts about whether she is really a small tree. Jae-hee remembers that Daisy doesn't like grades, so she told the lady to don't say anything. Jae-hee placed the fruit on the dryad pot, and the data comes on screen that it's a red daisy with the title, Spring Fairy, Language, Hope, Habitat, Normal, Values, Admiration and Attribute, Attack. Jae-hee is about to bloom it, but the lady stops her, reminding her that she has reached the soul limit this morning. She becomes upset, remembering her about the soul limit. All she has are diamonds, and she is just thinking about raising her level anyhow. Meanwhile, Velvet tells her that she doesn't need to worry as she has already grown stronger in comparison with the time they first met. Velvet asked Jae-hee if she felt dizzy after coming to Orchard, and she realized that Velvet was right because she didn't feel. Jae-hee's soul was ready to welcome the new dryad. Furthermore, Elderflower seems upset because he doesn't want to share her attention with anyone else, being an immature kid. Jae-hee touches the fruit, and it flies up with a light. The red petals starts falling, and Daisy appears. Daisy calls Jae-hee Ms. Druid. Jae-hee is happy to know that she remembered her. Jae-hee opens his hands and hugs Daisy. Jae-hee can sense Daisy's fragrance. Velvet is shocked to see Daisy in her seedling form because she has stayed away from the world tree. Velvet was expecting that Daisy would come back in a grown state if she bloomed from the fruit. Therefore, Daisy tells Jae-hee that she is tall, but it doesn't matter to Jae-hee whether she is small or tall. Daisy matters for Jae-hee, and her height doesn't, but she is curious and wants to see Daisy grow as well. Velvet tells Jae-hee that the days when Daisy is grown will come soon, as Jae-hee is her world tree and she is an improved species, so she will grow faster and come back to her original form soon. Consequently, Jae-hee curiously asked Velvet what she has to do to grow her up, and the answer is simple. She has to provide lots of nutrients to Daisy in order to raise her healthy and fast. All the numbers that she picked are fruits full of nutrients. Luckily, the fruits are in her pocket, and she wants to give all of them to Daisy in order to grow her up fast. But Elderflower put up an objection and shouted that she was going to give them all to her. That concludes part 2 of this recap. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. What will happen next? If you would like to see a part 3 of this manhwa, let us know in the comments section below. Till next time. That concludes part 2 of this recap. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. What will happen next? If you would like to see a part 3 of this manhwa, let us know in the comments section below. Till next time. That concludes part 3 of this recap. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. What will happen next? If you would like to see a part 4 of this manhwa, let us know in the comments section below. Elderflower argues with Jae-hee about giving all fruits to Daisy. However, she gives a logical reason to Elder that they both have grown up well. Nevertheless, Elder says that he can be even stronger if she gives him fruit, and stops Jae-hee from giving the fruit to Daisy. Daisy is an attack-type dryad, and in order to be able to attack, she has to grow to do some damage. Furthermore, if the attacker is unable to attack, then others will suffer. Still, Elder is against Daisy, but she is also not stepping back, which makes Jae-hee feel proud of Daisy. Jae-hee becomes angry at Elder for misbehaving with Daisy, and she tells him that he should be thankful to Daisy because she is the one who chose the fruit from which Elder bloomed. Jae-hee gave her the logical reason that if Daisy didn't choose that fruit, he would never be able to get such a rich master and might not be able to spend as many diamonds as he wants. Elder becomes silent because Jae-hee knows that she can easily console him with diamonds. Jae-hee asks if she is really an attacker because she is so small and thin, and Daisy shows her weapon to Jae-hee. Velvet Mesquite tells Jae-hee not to judge a dryad by its appearance because even the roots of a small seedling can break rocks. Daisy was like a normal human when she had no master, but now she has Jae-hee as her master, and now she is a true dryad. Weeds grow from the upper surface of the roads, but Daisy will cut through people. Velvet Mesquite shows her concern that it's unlucky for him because the earthquake his roots caused is used to deal with large numbers of enemies, and Daisy's roots are weak, so she can't withstand it because Mesquite will not be able to use earthquakes anymore until Daisy becomes strong. The earthquake is that powerful, which can turn the ground upside down. Even then, Elder can withstand because of his strong, long roots, while Daisy won't be able to withstand because of her weak roots. It's a clear difference between a tree and a plant. It's because Daisy is in her seedling state, and once she grows up, she will be able to protect her master. Mesquite tells Daisy to take root and asks Jae-hee to lift Daisy up. For a while, Jae-hee looks at the past and finds that she had lifted Daisy up before. But when Jae-hee tries to lift Daisy up, her back starts hurting, and she sits on the ground. It happened not because Jae-hee is weak, but rather because Daisy roots are stronger than before. Mesquite lifts Daisy up easily, and she tells Daisy to grow her roots as strong as possible, at least since Mesquite can't lift her up. Mesquite tells her that in advance because he will lift her up often to test her up, and by doing so, her roots will become stronger if she stimulates them constantly, and as a result, she will be able to withstand Mesquite's earthquake. This is how the Elder is raised by Mesquite. Although Elder's mother's plant roots are inherently strong, he is able to withstand his earthquake because he trained him well. Jae-hee imagines the moment and starts laughing, which makes Elder a bit angry, and he is told to stop laughing and tell Mesquite that they are the strongest amongst all the dryads. Daisy shows her will to become strong and to come to her original size as quickly as she can, and she eats the fruit, and Jae-hee gives her more. As Daisy finishes eating fruits, her gloves change, and Jae-hee understands that Daisy got leveled up. Jae-hee is thinking about buying nutrient-rich fruits, which she has to buy from other druids separately. Meanwhile, the guide lady tells Jae-hee that her guess is right and suggests she go to the market, where all druids often gather. The guide lady gives Jae-hee a map of the market and shopping district. Jae-hee gives diamonds to her as a tip, and she shows more support. Jae-hee reached the market, and there were 2 people seeing her dryads who praised and showed a nutrient fruit that was needed to grow them well. As Jae-hee looked at the nutrient fruit, she told them that she would buy it for 300 diamonds and 700 diamonds each. She makes an offer to the druids that she will buy fruits for 400 diamonds if one has more than 3 fruits. Hearing Jae-hee, druids want to sell their nutrient-rich fruit. Many druids gather close to her, and she says to buy all of them. Jae-hee says to do this one by one, but Jae-hee is thinking about how she can count the diamonds because she can't just pour diamonds and count because the numbers are big. Jae-hee is thinking about how she can take out diamonds in sets of 100. In the meantime, a druid shows the fruit and asks for 300 diamonds. The gnomes take out a cart that shows 300 diamonds. The druid received the 300 diamonds and thanked Jae-hee for the cool deal. Additionally, the gnomes just filled the cart so fast, and all is going smoothly. Most of the fruits Jae-hee took for Daisy, and a few for Elder and Mesquite. It's the first time for Mesquite to eat so many fruits at a time. Daisy told Jae-hee that she is full now, while Jae-hee was thinking that Daisy had to eat so much before to fill her stomach. However, Mesquite explained to Jae-hee that Daisy being full means her growth has reached its limit. Mesquite said to Jae-hee that it would be great if Daisy could eat more, but Jae-hee's soul limit is still too low for Daisy to grow that quickly. These words hit hard on Jae-hee, and she wants to level up, so she remembers that through hunting experience, her level can increase. However, Mesquite told Jae-hee that they should prepare first. An adventure is a long journey, so Mesquite suggests buying food, potions, and equipment that Jae-hee can use. The dryads are connected to Jae-hee's souls. If Jae-hee becomes strong, her dryads will also be affected. It means if Jae-hee's stats increase, then dryad stats will increase too. Jae-hee also wants to buy her clothes because her coat is dirty and shows her newbie appearance. They reach the shopping district, and thanks to Daisy, who knows the places, they don't need a map anymore. The sun is up, and there are many people in the shopping district. Elder is so excited to start shopping, but Jae-hee tells him to take a round first. Jae-hee hears the words, the month's limited accessories, a speciality, a luck draw, which attract Jae-hee so much, and uncontrollably, she went to the shopkeeper and just asked to name the price. However, unluckily it was a lucky draw prize, so she just couldn't buy it. Instead, she has to buy at the shops that are decorated with golden ribbons in order to get tickets, and the one who has the most tickets will get the ruby ring in the lucky draw. Jae-hee sees the interest of Elder in the ruby ring, and it hits her with questions because Jae-hee thinks Elder likes all types of jewelry, but he likes ruby because it's a birthstone, and it has more value than a normal gemstone. A birthstone has the power of the sun, or, to be more precise, it has the time of the sun. Ruby is the birthstone of July, and Dryads receive combat bonuses on the basis of date. Daisy and Mesquites get bonuses in April, and the date of the combat bonus is the date of the first blooming of Dryad's mother plant. It can be said that this is the perfect time for them to get a bonus. Elder receives battle bonuses from June to July. That's why he is more interested in July's ruby. If Elder has the ruby ring and it's July, then he will receive more bonuses. Since Elder is a special grade, it allows birthstone magic to reach its full potential. Jae-hee wants to buy more things to get more tickets because if she has more tickets, the probability of winning will increase. Jae-hee is wondering what kind of equipment she should buy. She is thinking of buying armor like Mesquite, but Mesquite suggests that she should not buy any heavy equipment that her body can't resist. The helmet of that armor can even break Jae-hee's neck if she is not careful. They reach the shop, and Jae-hee asks the shopkeeper if he had something for a newbie. The shopkeeper calls her inside and shows her the beginner set, but she doesn't like it. Mesquite said that it would fit perfectly on her, and Jae-hee has no other option other than wearing it, so she bought it and took a rope with it, which cost only 150 diamonds in total. Jae-hee took the beginner's rope too, but she didn't want to show that on her head, so she used it as a hair tie. Jae-hee has equipment and seems ready to go on her first adventure. They come outside, and Jae-hee sees that she has only 6 tickets, and they need more in order to win. Elder gives visual cues towards the artifact shop, and Jae-hee gets that there they can get decorative items that Elder can use to decorate terrarium. They step into the artifact workshop, and it's a huge workshop, but there are very few people inside because artifacts might be expensive or people don't need them at the time of adventure. Jae-hee sees the box as a shopping cart, and puts diamonds in 3 carts, and gives them to her dryads so that they can buy whatever they want. Mesquite wants to come with Jae-hee, but she tells him to go with Elder so that she can do her business. After getting infinite diamonds, the thing that has fascinated Jae-hee the most is gacha. Jae-hee speculates on the items and the likelihood of obtaining them from the random box, which is nearly 0.1%. Furthermore, Jae-hee can even win a house from the random box, which will suit Daisy and Mesquite, while the other one is so cool that Elder will become crazy seeing it. It has a rainbow fountain too. Jae-hee shows her eagerness to get all the items, and she wants to buy all of the random boxes, but she can't because there is a limit set for every druid by the workshop taking care of people's mental health. Despite this, Jae-hee ends up buying 200 random boxes, but she is still upset because, despite having that many diamonds, she still can't buy the number of random boxes she wants. Afterwards, Jae-hee starts opening the random boxes, and when she opens the first, she gets a wooden fence, which has a probability of 80%. A man approaches Jae-hee and asks her if she is throwing the wooden fence and if he can have it, but she puts a condition that in exchange he has to give his lucky ticket. They made a deal by exchanging. By doing this, Jae-hee can even earn more lucky tickets. Jae-hee opens random boxes repeatedly, but she is unlucky, she got only fences in the box. Even people start calling Jae-hee a shareholder of fences. Meanwhile, Elder and Daisy came there, and Daisy asked whereabouts. Jae-hee asked Elder to give her a buff through which she could get the house and the fountain from the random box, but Elder showed dull expressions. Jae-hee explained that she was doing it for him because he wanted a fountain and a statue. However, Elder can't use his buff because it has not been so long since he used it on Mesquite. Jae-hee asked Daisy if she liked to open the box, and she opened one and got a vine supporter, but Jae-hee is happy because it is the first time she is getting something other than the fence. Daisy knows it is not the item that Jae-hee wants. Seeing Daisy, Elder also opened a box and got a purple mushroom. When these purple mushrooms are placed in a terrarium, they boost the vitality of regular field dryads. Jae-hee is expecting something good from Elder being a good luck charm. Daisy also wants to open another, and this time she got items with a single-digit probability. Daisy angrily opened the box, and she got the rainbow fountain, which is the item Jae-hee is looking for, and being superbly happy lifted Daisy up. Jae-hee puts the rainbow fountain in the middle of the field. It seems super cool, and she enjoyed decorating the artifact. Jae-hee heard the announcement that the lucky draw will start soon, and all are said to gather at the center of the shopping district. Jae-hee started buying the ticket at the last minute and went to the lucky draw, where there was a large crowd. Jae-hee asked Mesquite if she was uncomfortable in the armor. She could go into the artifact while he was not that uncomfortable, but seeing Jae-hee's concern, she turned his armor into normal clothes in a flick. Now, the lucky draw begins, and in the first place there are potions for 50 people. In the fourth place, a journey emergency ration for 30 people, and in the third place, a Dryad special nutrient for 5 people. Jae-hee got almost all the things, and now the turn is for the first place, and it's a limited thing that can be found in the 26th terrarium, a ruby ring. Jae-hee is praying to win, and the lucky number is announced as 226. But Jae-hee is missing only 226, even though she has 225 and 227. Jae-hee is thinking of making a trade with the one who has the number 226. But Daisy came and showed Jae-hee that she has the lucky number 226 and that she got the ruby ring. Jae-hee becomes superbly happy and shows her positive attitude toward Daisy. Elder Eyes just got stuck on the ruby ring box. Daisy got the ring while it's effective for Elder, and Jae-hee is confused about what to do in this case. Jae-hee got another box with the ruby ring, which is a special grade for the collection of wisdom ruby accessories. Within the box, she also got a special reward. Moreover, if she collects 2 more accessories, then she will be able to get the wisdom ruby tiara, which is better than the 3 accessories, and no one is able to get it yet. Jae-hee asks curiously if she can get rest accessories with the lucky draw, but the answer is that only the ring can be earned through the lucky draw, and the whereabouts of the rest are still unknown. Jae-hee is happy to get the ring, and the wisdom of ruby tiara will be the endgame, according to Jae-hee. Jae-hee is walking on a diamond path, but there will also be an end to this path, from which she is unknown, and the ring is the first step to it. The ring is dazzling, and when she touches it, it feels warm. Jae-hee wears it to Daisy, but it is a bit big for Daisy, and a love for the ring can be seen in the elder's eyes. Daisy tells Jae-hee that she doesn't need the ring, even though the combat bonus is 3 months apart from her. Jae-hee also thinks it's useless to wear the ruby ring for style, while it's effective on the elder. Jae-hee tells Elder that Daisy picked his fruit, and now she has earned a special accessory for him, the ruby ring, and suggests Elder not fight her and treat her nicely. Jae-hee can give the ring to Elder directly, but she wants to re-establish the relationship between Daisy and Elder. That's why Jae-hee wants Elder to know and realize that Daisy is the one who earned him the ring. Daisy asks Elder if he wants the ring, and Mesquite is laughing seeing the situation, and Daisy seems like Jae-hee, who is holding a diamond, making Elder weak because his weakness is diamonds. In the past, somewhere, the self-esteem of Daisy was hurt because Elder and Mesquite's presence was enough to discourage other Dryads. And now a situation arises where Elder has to beg Daisy for the ring, which will hurt his pride more than ever. The situation seems like a movie scene. Jae-hee tells Elder that it's a special grade, and if he fights with Daisy, then she will not give him the ring. Earlier, Daisy was discouraged easily, but now Jae-hee is proud of her because she doesn't discourage that easily now. Elder sat down on his knees and asked Daisy to give him the ring, and she gave him the ring happily, being generous like Jae-hee. Jae-hee says this atmosphere will not last long, they will fight, but she is feeling relieved to see them not fighting. Jae-hee is now thinking about going up a level. Suddenly, she sees an old lady who's shocked her while she is standing for a while, and Mesquite knows, but he doesn't do anything because he lets those be who seem not harmful. The old lady asked Jae-hee if she was ready to go on an adventure, and asked for help revealing her position as the manager of the 26th terrarium. The old lady seems like the NPC of a game that gives quests, so Jae-hee asks how she can help her. With a closer look, the old lady tells Jae-hee that her soul has not grown strong yet. On urging the lady, she gave Jae-hee a scroll in which the quest was shown. It is a highly risky task, but the reward is also that much greater. The scroll is a quest window in which the world tree is shown with the numbers of terrariums that are not affected by the fire. The 26th terrarium is saved because it touches the world tree branches, while the 28th terrarium also touches the branch, but was burned by the fire. It's an unusual thing because the terrarium, which touches the branch of the world tree, the fire can't reach it easily because of the effect of the world tree. The 20th terrarium is the closest to the world tree, and these are better protected, but the terrarium further away got affected by the fire. But the question arises, when the flame is not sufficient to burn the 28th terrarium, then how can it be affected by the fire? Mesquite found it strange because the power of the world tree is still strong. That's why the terrarium in the 20s is alert. It's true that, We are not always safe. Jaehee's task is to find the exact cause of the fire or the truth behind the 28th terrarium. The old lady had sent many druids. There is no one yet who comes back. Before Jaehee took action, the old lady steps back, saying that she took it that Jaehee accepted the quest, and she tells Jaehee to discuss the reward once the job is done. Jaehee asked for the hint because if the reward is diamonds, it will be useless for her. The old lady tells her in a poetic way, the butterflies came, Orchard didn't leave yet, and they can be captured and kept in the collection bottle. The old lady disappeared, and Jaehee is left with questions. However, Mesquite tells Jaehee that it's a fine reward, and they can try the quest. The elder also wants butterflies, but is hoping for normal ones, while Daisy hasn't seen any yet and wants to. Jaehee is grappling with the question, is butterfly equipment, or not an insect? She asks curiously, and Mesquite already knew that Jaehee wouldn't know about butterflies. Mesquite explains to Jaehee that, generally, a dryad needs to engage in battles and needs to take nutrients and fruit in order to get stronger. However, there will be a day when the dryad will feel the limit of the two mentioned ways. It feels like an unreachable goal. That's when the butterfly comes into existence. These butterflies can find the dryads very well, even better than the mesquites. If species of dryads and butterflies become honeymates, then butterflies can be a guide in finding the species of those dryads. Let's say if Daisy and butterfly become honeymates, then the butterfly will find another daisy dryad. A butterfly can't absorb the energy of the dryad unless it's from the same dryad. If Jaehee gets a normal field butterfly, then it will be good for Daisy and Elder. When more than one dryad of the same species gathers, it is called a forest. When one becomes a dominant species, it gains more power. The subdued dryads will also live in Jaehee's terrarium artifact, and if Jaehee wants her dryads to get stronger, then she also needs to increase her soul limit. Jaehee is ready to go on the adventure, whether it's hard or not. The terrariums 26, 27, and 28 are in the V shape, so they don't need to go through 27. They can go directly to 28. Jaehee bought a topographical map that was too big, which makes it annoying to use. Elder memorizes the map, and Jaehee doesn't believe it. Before Jaehee steps up to the adventure, Elder asks Jaehee to choose the main character, who will be the leader in the fight. Elder wants to become the leader of the team and says that he is her first dryad. If Elder becomes the leader, his healing power will enhance, but it's up to Jaehee to make him a leader. Mesquite suggests that for rules and orders, it's better for a team to have a leader. In the battle, the leader's order is the same as the level of Jaehee. If Jaehee selects Mesquite as the team leader, then safety will increase, and it will be a defense party. If Jaehee chooses Daisy, then it will be an aggressive attacker party, and if she chooses Elder, then it will be a stable team, but she doesn't want to make him the team leader because he will be a headache for her. Jaehee selects Daisy as the main character until they are near the village. Then, as they go further, Mesquite will be the leader. They came far from the village, so they might get burned now because the fire is weak near the village. Mesquite is alert because they should not underestimate the fire. Mesquite tells Jaehee how tough the battle can be, but he also ensures her that her dryads are on her side and will take care of her safety. They were discussing the fire's appearance. Meanwhile, a fire came in the way. It's a little more like lava in leech shape. Elder takes Jaehee back to ensure safety. Jaehee is thinking that water will put it out, but the dryads can only put out the fire. A dryad is also prey to fire. Daisy wants to deal with this small fire, but Mesquite asks Jaehee if she will allow Daisy to handle it. Daisy wants to handle this fire. However, Mesquite warns her that if she is not careful, she will turn to firewood in an instant. He asks her again if she still wants to fight. Daisy shows her spirit and demonstrates that she isn't afraid of pain or death now. Jaehee feels a bond between Daisy and herself. Moreover, the atmosphere also changes around the team. It might be because of Daisy's spirit that the combat spirit of the team increases. Mesquite uses a shield on Daisy, which can protect her from fire 3 times. However, it will take time to cast again. So, Daisy has 3 chances to attack, avoiding the fire. Elder also gives Daisy a speed buff, through which her speed will be increased. Mesquite advises Daisy to finish the battle in one blow because the longer the battle drags, the more disadvantageous it will be. But Daisy's knife is not as sharp as it can end the fight in one strike. Therefore, Mesquite suggests cutting the fire into several pieces. The fight begins. Daisy jumps and throws the 2 knives at the fire, the brightness aside. The fire attacks Daisy, but she steps back with speed. The fire attacks again, but the sand wall Mesquite casts protects her. Nevertheless, there are only 2 chances left. Jae-hee is worried and confused about what she should do in this situation. Should she call Daisy back or keep faith in her? Mesquite tells Jae-hee that Daisy is performing better as she can dodge the dangerous attacks easily. Besides, the fight has already begun, so she can't withdraw easily. Jae-hee thinks with a cool mind and understands that calling her back is not the solution. If it's the weak fire, then the more powerful fire will come in the future. If she calls her back, then she will come under the wrong impression that Jae-hee doesn't believe in her. Therefore, she should keep faith in her. Mesquite guides Daisy to not slow down and, at the right moment, strike it out. It is the same logic as when we gently blow the candle flame, it flickers only. But when we blow forcefully at the flame, it extinguishes. The fight is intense, the last sand wall defense is used, and the advantageous chance has gone. Elder told Daisy to run as far as she can from the fire because once the fire catches Daisy, there will be no chance to put it out. The fire is trying to cover Daisy, but it didn't grow big. Mesquite explains that dried is like a firewood in front of the fireplace, and the fire has absorbed Daisy's strength. The fire is gaining strength. That's why a long fight with fire is disadvantageous. Jae-hee wants to call Daisy back, but Mesquite suggests she should not be nervous and should believe in Daisy because, through soul connection, Daisy can feel her anxiety. Elder explains to Jae-hee that Daisy can manage as she understands Mesquite's advice. Jae-hee calms herself, seeing that Elder and Mesquite believe in Daisy. Therefore, she should believe too. Jae-hee believes in Daisy, and as Daisy feels it, she cuts the fire into pieces at the right moment. The fire is cut into 4 pieces while it's not dead, and Mesquite tells Jae-hee to move back, and she attacks the fire. They start approaching them. Mesquite attracts the fires towards him, and Daisy uses vines to hold the knives. Through it, she puts out the fire. Mesquite praises Daisy, and Jae-hee also commends Daisy for battling well. Elder tells Daisy she has to improve more because she is struggling with small fires. Daisy thanks Elder for helping her in the fight. Because of him, she fought with ease. Despite this, Daisy's clothes are burned here and there. Jae-hee is confused about what to do because they can't just go back every time her clothes get burned. Elder suggests using potions because she has plenty of them. However, Jae-hee didn't understand why the potion was required when Elder healed Daisy. The potions Elder is talking about are transparent, and that surprised Jae-hee initially because the potions are of different colors, which explains their purposes. Mesquite explains that humans called it a potion, while it is actually world tree sap. For dryads, the clothes are like the bark of a tree that protects them from the inside, and when the bark is damaged, fluid flows out, repairing the damage. Humans call the sap potions because it contains the magical powers of the world tree. When Daisy just opened the cap of the potion bottle, her clothes got fixed. Afterwards, the fire seems to be aiming for the terrarium. Daisy jumped into the battle without hesitation this time, and she also used her vines to fight the fire. Jae-hee recognizes Daisy as a one-on-one combat specialist, seeing her attacks, but it will not be sufficient to handle more fire monsters at a time. Mesquite says that if they put out one fire, more will come after it. While Mesquite has the immunity to resist fire, when more fires continuously attack, she can be hurt. Mesquite just draws fire attention, and Daisy is putting out the fires. Unfortunately, Elder can't attack fire because his only attack involves using a mother plant, which is not effective on fire, even if it's just putting words into the fire. Interestingly, Daisy's shoes got changed. Jae-hee's level has risen, and there are no more fires looking near. Elder tells Jae-hee they still have to go far, but Mesquite says not to go further because it can be dangerous, and they need to stay here. They see a fire, but it's not coming close to them, and Mesquite says that the fire out of the world tree effect is so clever they even lure people. Therefore, Jae-hee throws a diamond to lure the fire towards them. As a result, the fire is lured to the diamond, and after devouring it, it gets bigger. Mesquite's expressions make Jae-hee remember the assistant's expressions, which were the same as Mesquite's when she was in school and got the worst result. Mesquite explains that the diamonds are not regular gemstones. When the sap of the world tree is released through transpiration into the air, it meets the soul of the druids and crystallizes into diamonds, which then get collected into wallets. While it is different for every druid, it takes a month to get a diamond. Jaehee's wallet is something like a bug, but the diamonds are actually something that can be earned through hardships. The world tree is becoming weaker day by day because of excessive transpiration caused by fires. The orchid receives the diamonds and gives its power back to the world tree. In return, the world tree protects the terrarium. The diamond contains the power of the world tree, that's why the fire is attracted to it. This fire is a bit bigger than usual, and Daisy puts it out. Jaehee feels more experienced, and she gets the idea that she can earn more experience staying around the village. Jaehee uses the diamond to lure fire and let them grow big, and they put out those that give them more experience. As the sun goes down, Jaehee is tired, and they set up camp in a safe place. Jaehee receives a message in which it is written that because Jaehee cleared the fire population by more than 85% around the 26th terrarium, she became a 5th-rank gardener and would get benefits for taking care of the trouble. Jaehee sees another new icon, and the gnomes ask her about a plant that just delivered in Infinite Tia. While she doesn't know, she just says to take care of it. Jaehee shares this achievement with her dryads, and Mesquite is happy for Jaehee. While she was worried about the last night when Mesquite killed a player, the terrarium overlooked it because safety from the fire is more important for the terrarium. Jaehee is enjoying being a 5th-rank gardener. It's night, and Jaehee takes out her sleeping bag. Mesquite is on night watch to ensure Jaehee's safety. Jaehee is worried about Mesquite sleeping, but Mesquite explains that the dryads neither eat food nor sleep. Jaehee wants to spend more good moments with her dryads, and Mesquite also feels lucky that she meets Jaehee. Jaehee woke up because of the heightened senses of Mesquite. However, there were other druids who came after the fire, but they left the place because most of the fires had been cleared by Jaehee's team. Jaehee saw the world tree flashing white, and it gave her a cold fruit. However, Jaehee feels the slap, but she opens her eyes and realizes it was a dream. For breakfast, Jaehee has a cookie that tastes so bad that she wants to eat something tasty. Moreover, Jaehee changes the team leader to Mesquite, as she told them before. Since they are going further from the area of the world tree blessing, the probability of encountering more fire monsters is higher. Therefore, the safety of the team is necessary. As Jaehee makes Mesquite the team leader, there is a protective shield covering the team. It has been a while. Although they are walking, they didn't encounter any fire monsters because the druids they saw last night had gone this way. Finally, they reach the dandelion habitat, and the scenery makes the environment joyful. In this habitat, if they are lucky, they will be able to see the natural-born dryad, but it's very rare that a dryad is born naturally. Perhaps they might be able to see a dandelion dryad. These dandelion dryads are scouting them through flowers to check whether they are guests or the ones who came to ruin the flowers. Jaehee is a bit worried when she hears flowers for scouting, but Elder explains the dandelions are normal rank dryads. While ranks matter, Jaehee's mindset changed when she met Daisy. She is her precious dryad. Jaehee never wanted to define dryads' limits. While Jaehee is thinking deeply, she doesn't even know if it's really a game or not. Mesquite shows Jaehee a forest of dandelions and dryads. It seems like a scene from a fairy tale. Notably, there is not only a community, even there is a Lord of Dandelions Dryads, and she welcomes Jaehee. The Lord of the Dandelions Dryads felt that someone was stepping into their habitat. That's why she was on alert. However, if she knew that it was Jaehee, then she would not send those petals to scout them. She behaved so politely toward Jaehee and asked for forgiveness. Mesquite praises the Lord, and she too. She asked the reason for stopping in their habitat and requested permission to talk to Jaehee. Jaehee said yes, and the Lord showed the way to their habitat. The dandelions became comfortable too, and they asked Daisy questions because it's their first time seeing other dryads. Jaehee is feeling a bit concerned walking on the dandelions, but the Lord said it's fine. They arrived at the center of the dandelions' habitat, which is huge. In the past, the area was filled with dandelions, but because of frequent fire attacks, the size of their habitat has reduced. Moreover, because of fire, the population of dandelions is also decreasing. The Lord is not specialized in combat, so all she can do is hide their habitat. However, even now, that power of hers is also weakened, and the area she can cover is also shrinking. This signifies that the day when she will complete all her responsibilities assigned by the World Tree is approaching. If no new dryads are born here and the remaining dryads are sent to the World Trees, the day for her to return to the warmth of the World Tree will also come. The problem is that her strength will not last before all the dryads return. Jae-hee makes assumptions about the reason for calling her to talk, but all her assumptions went wrong. Actually, the Lord called her because she wanted her to put out the fire in their habitat. The flowers will tell her the location of the fire, and she asks Jae-hee if she can help her. Jae-hee, without hesitating, accepts to help, understanding it's a sub-quest for which she will get the reward too. The Lord stops Daisy and asks for privacy, but Jae-hee is concerned, so she stays with Daisy, and the Lord has no problem, even if it's better if she stays. That concludes part 3 of this recap. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. What will happen next? If you would like to see a part 4 of this manhwa, let us know in the comments section below. Till next time. The Lord sees Daisy in a seedling state, so she asks her if she is a natural-born dryad. Hearing this, Jae-hee is concerned, but Daisy tells her she is a dryad bloomed by a fruit, and she reveals her reason for being small. This is because she has stayed away from the world tree, which causes her to lose her strength and become small. The Lord then asks if she was abused, but she explains that there was another druid who cut connection with her. This is the reason she has had to suffer, and from the bright light, Jae-hee came as a savior and saved her from suffering. The Lord asked Daisy if she felt inferior to the 2 dryads that traveled with her. Specifically, the Lord is talking about Mesquite and the Elder, but Daisy replies that she is happy that her druid is protected by the strong dryads. She also accepts that she is weak now, but it is because she has not grown fully yet. Hearing this, the Lord appreciates her and motivates her, saying that she will become a king one day. A king of a forest rules over one species, and the Lord appreciates Daisy's strong mentality. Through this, she will definitely become a king one day. In order to become king, a dryad must have more members of the same species, which is only possible to find through a butterfly. The Lord then tells her story. When she was born, she was a normal dandelion seedling, small and weak. However, the difference between her and other seedlings' children is that her soul is capable of accepting other dryad souls. As the number of dandelion dryads increased and their habitat was threatened by fire, they needed a leader to lead them all. This is how she was chosen as the dominant species. As time passed, the Lord was trusted by more souls, and hence her power increased. When she defended the habitat with her power, her soul grew bigger, her body grew as well, and ultimately her weapon became bigger. A king must fulfill the duties and responsibilities that lie on their shoulders. The Lord said to Daisy that she would also be able to become the same as herself one day. Daisy shows her spirit, and Jae-hee also knows that in order to make Daisy a dominant species, she has to be stronger. This is because the dandelion species makes a forest in the wild, but Daisy has to make one in Jae-hee's terrarium artifact. Jae-hee calls Daisy to put out the fires in this area and get some experience. Jae-hee and her dryads went to put out the fires following the flower seeds of dandelion. When the seeds disappeared, they saw a fire in a person's shape, which Jae-hee had never seen before. The fires near the terrarium are surpassed by the force of the world tree, so the shape of the fire is just like a piece of slime. However, the fires that are not affected by the world tree can use their power as much as they want. The fires burn and devour their surroundings to get stronger and gain the form of the one who seems more powerful than them. The fire had gained the form of the druid, which passed through this way, being found to be powerful. The fire shines brightly, and the surrounding area becomes a pool of fire. Jae-hee is now concerned because she has never seen any fire like it before, and it would have been problematic if she didn't level up at the beginning. The heat covers the surroundings. Even the water starts boiling. Jae-hee is curious about the druid who put out these fires before. The fire attacked, and Jae-hee felt that the level of this place was just so much, even though it should be just more than one from the beginner's ground. Mesquite stabbed the fire, and it broke into 5 pieces. Daisy steps up to put out the fires, but Jae-hee feels the gut feeling that is connected to Mesquite. Consequently, she calls back Daisy and changes the main character to her. She pulls Mesquite back, he covers Daisy up, and Elder uses a protective shield to protect Jae-hee from fire. The fire attacks them. The smoke and ash cover them up, and Jae-hee's eyes are burning with the smoke. However, she manages to ask others if they are alright. They protect themselves from the attack, and Elder uses his healing power to heal them all. As a result, Jae-hee feels better. The fire has absorbed the energy. One of the fires got caught in the explosion and died, but there is no size change even though the fire has absorbed the energy. Mesquite asks Daisy to put out the fire at once, otherwise if the fire gets smaller, it will use the same attack as before. Mesquite handles the right two, and Daisy handles the left two. Mesquite guides Daisy to attack in the middle so that the fire disappears as it is being attacked. The fire seems to be using the dust attack as before, but Elder blocks it, and Mesquite and Daisy have only one chance to wipe out the fires. Otherwise, the Elder Mother Plant will be absorbed by the fire and the fire power will get stronger. At the right time, Mesquite and Daisy attack the fire and wipe them out. Jaehee leveled up and felt refreshed. Daisy's jacket changed, Elder's cape changed, and Mesquite was the least changed because the higher the rank, the slower the leveling up speed becomes. Jaehee and her dryads leveled up well because the enemy was strong. At this rate, Jaehee can easily become stronger as a druid who cleared the fire in this area. She gives a potion to Daisy, and they just look at the front. Jaehee saw a diamond, and she wondered where it came from while she didn't throw any. Mesquite told her that it came from the fire they put out. Jaehee questioned Mesquite about why it is as though, while the fire they put out at the beginning, nothing came out of it. Mesquite explains that a diamond is a crystal left by a fire that engulfed a dryad or a piece of the world tree. The diamond is condensed with the magical force after burning with the fire, and the fire couldn't absorb the whole diamond because it was protected by the soul of the dryad, who wasn't able to return to the world tree. Moreover, the fire might have swallowed up a dandelion seedling from the habitat. The dust attack that the fire used was definitely the flower seeds of the dandelions. In other words, the diamond is the remains of the dandelions that were eaten by the fire. Jaehee didn't get how a dandelion seedling could come this far and be eaten by the fire. She is now concerned about dandelion seedlings and decides to clear the area around the habitat fast from the fire so that no casualties will happen. The fires are not specifically at a destination, so all the druids have to wander around. All the fires are human-shaped but can be killed easily compared to the first one. Jaehee sees the fire and guesses that the fire must have swallowed up a dandelion, and Mesquite suggests they can kill it in one blow. But Jaehee doubts if Mesquite can do so because in the previous battles they didn't put out the fire in just one blow. He explains that this time it will be possible. Although the weapons and equipment are the same, the limit of the skills they can use has been lifted a bit, and as Jaehee's soul has grown, her dryads can spread their roots more. Mesquite can use more skills compared to Daisy, and he was just standing low so that he could match Jaehee's soul. Mesquite said Jaehee is growing faster than usual, and they show her the strong will to protect. Elder uses some special buff, and Mesquite wipes out the fire in just one blow because it's his new skill, which throws out defense and focuses on offense. They return to the habitat, and Jaehee gives the Lord the 2 diamonds of the dandelion dryads that were burned by the fire. They were the children that were born near the boundary of the habitat, and before the king noticed, the children were swallowed by the fire. The souls of the burned children can neither return nor go back to the world tree. The only way is that the Lord keeps them in her heart, and when the time comes to return to the world, she will take them with her. As a reward, the Lord gives Panacea, which contains the power of dandelion dryads, to Jaehee. It's a special potion that has healing power, which can cure most diseases and those who are affected by the special power of dryads. Jaehee questions Elder while he is also a healer, so if he can make something like that, but he explains that while both dandelions and Elder are healers, their traits are different, and in order to concentrate the healing power into a diamond bottle, one has to instill it over and over again for a long time to get a potion. Jaehee opens her eyes wider, seeing that it's a diamond bottle. The Lord got the diamond bottle from an alchemist who visited their habitat a long time ago. Jaehee shows concern to the Lord about whether it is alright to give her a valuable thing, but it's fine as Jaehee helped the Lord by putting out the fires around their habitat. The Lord takes out a flower from her weapon and also gives it to Jaehee, and she takes it, being greedy. The reason behind giving that to Jaehee is not because the Lord is grateful but because she feels an oracle that is surrounding her. The God Oracle is the forgotten language of the dandelion mother plant, and it is said that the first dandelion mother plant received an oracle in a huge flood that can submerge everything on the ground. The seeds of that plant were blown away to a safe place that wasn't submerged, and as she becomes the Lord, she inherits the power of the oracle, and she gives a fragment of that oracle to Jaehee, through which she can awaken a new force with a special power. The Lord doesn't know how to use it, and all she can do is give it to her. The oracle fragment is a valuable item, but they don't know how to use it. Jaehee accepts the item because the time will come when she will be able to use it. Jaehee is satisfied with the panacea, and as of now, the quest is complete, so she can head towards the 28th terrarium as planned, but Jaehee expresses that she is stuck in a problem. There is a mountain on the way to the 28th terrarium. It's just a bit higher than the plane, but only 10 meters higher than the plane is a mountain for Jaehee. She really doesn't want to go through the mountain, and it's not like on Earth where there will be a cable car or stairs for hikers. It's just a wild mountain. Jaehee is now feeling guilty for cursing the druid that has cleaned and wiped the hunting ground because, since the druid is not gone in the way they are going, the fire monsters are coming like crazy from nowhere. Mesquite alerts Jaehee to see above, and there is a firebird monster who is able to fly. The firebirds attack them crazily, and it's even hard for Mesquite to deal with that because they are flying. He asks Daisy if he will throw her up so she can manage to kill the monsters. Mesquite throws Daisy up, and she deals with the firebirds one by one and kills them. Jaehee is exhausted now, and Mesquite suggests Jaehee take a break because she seems too tired. They had cleared all the fire in the area where they were standing. Jaehee feels guilty for being a low-level noob, and she feels that she is creating trouble for her dryads, while Mesquite consoles her that even her existence is a help for them. Jaehee is crying because she is nothing more than trash who has nothing but diamonds. She sees a burned box, and Mesquite goes to check and finds it's a carriage. Jaehee becomes excited and wishes if she knew she would have taken a carriage, but Mesquite tells her the drawbacks of it, which can be dangerous because it's a big object and they will become easy targets to fire. Generally, they did take a bunch of talented dryads to escort them, but it seems that there was a battle and the group was swallowed by the fire, and the fire must have become a lot stronger. Elder suggests leaving the place quickly, but he didn't sense a strong presence here. Jaehee estimates that when a fire that swallows a dryad is that powerful, then how powerful will the fire be if it swallows up a lot of dryads? All the boxes have a danger symbol, and the 28th terrarium is written on that. Jaehee suspects that the box contains black soil and that there is a plant inside it, and she is curious to know what they were trying to deliver to the 28th terrarium. Finally, they reach flat ground, but there are two ways in front of them, and both ways go to the 28th terrarium, but Jaehee wants to select an easier one. Mesquite feels the presence of someone on the left path. We see a group of dryads who seem to be chasing someone with signs of escape, but it's older than a few years, so their work ends for nothing. The other dryad suggests the dryad that escapes must have fast feet, that's why it was able to survive. The other one, dryad, suggests that they failed to achieve their goal, and at the end, they lost track of where dryad went, and all the remains were burned too. The main dryad feels the presence of someone in front of them, and it's our heroes, Jaehee and her dryads. The other dryads recognize them as the ones Sidling found that night. Another dryad praises that they are an ideal combination because they are able to come this far with a small vessel. Jaehee counts that there are 6 dryads, and they all look fancy. Jaehee recognizes the person standing back as a druid. A dryad from their group asked who was going to talk, and all started fighting to talk, but the main of the bouquet stopped them, seeing Jaehee confused. The other dryads is introduced by Belladonna, who is the current main character of the bouquet. They talk from an appropriate distance because she explains that, because of her mother's plant nature, it can be dangerous to stand at a close distance for those who are not in her bouquet. They are commissioned, and they are heading to the 28th terrarium, and they are coming down from the 16th terrarium. Jaehee tells them they are from the 26th terrarium, and she recognizes them as the group who cleared the hunting ground earlier, but Jaehee is wondering why the druid is not talking. Belladonna introduces other dryads to Jaehee. The one with violin is Brazilian rosewood. The one next to him is the dominant species of the Kalmia forest known as Kalmia latifolia. The one who wields the whip is periwinkle. The one who is holding a crystal ball is blue mallow, and the Cardin is the prince of the desert. Cardin has not seen someone from the same desert field for a while, so he is excited to see Mesquite. Jaehee introduces themselves. Her dryads are Mesquite Velvet and the Red Daisy, and she doesn't need to introduce Elder because Belladonna has met the same species before, so she recognizes him as Elder and praises his species as beautiful and gorgeous. Jaehee understands that an Elder is a famous one, like a celebrity. Belladonna introduces her druid Sidling, who is not used to human social life because he has lived with dryads since he was born. Sidling lacks social skills, and they made a rule that first, the 3 dryads will talk from their bouquet, then Sidling will talk, but the 2 dryads waited their turn, so politeness is not expected from their druid. Sidling asks for understanding and steps up to talk to Jaehee. Sidling is as tall as Mesquite and seems scary from the clothes. Jaehee recognizes it must be because of the difference in their levels. Sidling calls Jaehee small, and she becomes angry hearing that because no one yet calls her small in this world. Belladonna reminds Sidling that she told him many times that humans and dryads are treated differently, and she tells him that before saying anything, he should think about one's feelings. Sidling suggests Jae-hee go back because her soul is a small vessel, and it's not a place for people like her to wander around. Sidling praises Mesquite, saying that because of him, she is able to come this far, but now she can't move further. Jae-hee's anger becomes intense, and Kalmia reminds her of what she said to him, not to tell their intention directly, otherwise, the fight will arise as it has happened before, also because of Sidling being straightforward. Sidling speaks negatively about Jae-hee's skills and tells her the consequence. If she moves further, she will die, and if she dies, her dryads will also be swallowed up by the fire, and a stronger fire monster will be born if Mesquite ranks dryads devoured by the fire. Sidling dryads apologizes to Jae-hee for the rude behavior of their druid. The Brazilian reminds Sidling that he is human too, and he should take care of the words he is using while talking to another human because the dryads taught Sidling to talk. His manner of speaking is straightforward, while the dryads are not hurt by the druid words, but humans are different. The Brazilian reminds him that he said many times to think about others' feelings before saying anything, while the Sidling said he said it after thinking. Kalmia reminds him not to use the word terrible and drives his attention towards Mesquite that he has grabbed his lance, and if Sidling makes Jae-hee more angrier, a fight would break, and they have Mesquite and a top-tier healer, and this combination is bad for them. Cardin, the Prince of the Desert, excitedly meets Mesquite and tells him that it's an honor for him to meet the Guardian of the Desert, and he admires him since he was a sapling. He asks him to shake hands or hit him with his lance. Periwinkle and Blue Mallow already know that Cardin will act like that, and Mesquite stops him from uttering more words, and he neither handshakes nor hits with the lance. Jae-hee tells them that they are commissioned by the 26th terrarium to head to the 28th terrarium, so she has no reason to hear Sidling, and she tells him he misunderstood them. They are not as weak as they think. Jae-hee warns Sidling that if he ignores her one more time, she will forget the politeness. Kalmia said to Jae-hee that if she was commissioned to investigate the 28th terrarium that is burned out, then it's too much for her because her soul vessel is so small. Commission is a special request given to the druids who are highly skilled, and it is too much for those who have small souls. Kalmia explains that they just sent any druid to investigate because 20's terrariums don't know the seriousness of the situation. As Kalmia knows, everyone has died. That's why the 10's terrarium has sent some druids who are highly skilled and known for it, but they are the only ones who came to the place with one piece. Jae-hee is now concerned about themselves when she knows that this is not a beginner's quest. Mesquite takes Jae-hee back to protect him from the heat of the fire that appeared to be dangerous. Belladonna alerts Sidling, Elder makes a shield to protect themselves, and Brazilian plays violin, and he understands that it is going to be dangerous. Jae-hee is unable to understand where the heat is coming from while she is under the shield, but even the heat is coming inside. Sidling suggests Jae-hee escape as soon as she gets a chance, and Sidling will draw the attention of the fire with his dryads. If Jae-hee listens to Sidling, it will be accepted that her dryads are weak. Jae-hee hears the sound, and she feels something big and powerful approaching them. The fire covers them up, and Sidling suggests Jae-hee use Mesquite, as the fire doesn't affect Mesquite. Jae-hee and Sidling start fighting. Belladonna suggests to Sidling not to fight themselves and suggests it's time to cooperate. Kalmia said to keep them near and safe, but Jae-hee takes it as an insult. Meanwhile, fire comes out, and Mesquite tells all to come behind him in order to be safe. Jae-hee was surprised to see the fire in carriage form. It's a big carriage, which is as big as a house. She suspects it was the fire that swallowed up the carriage that she saw in the way early. Jae-hee heard that fire takes the form of the strongest when it sees, but she never thought fire would take the form of an object. The situation looks like a boss stage, and one alone can't win this stage, and Jae-hee is thinking of forming a party with Sidling. Belladonna also suggests to Sidling that the situation is serious, and he should make a party with Jae-hee because, without it, the battle will not end easily. Plus, the actions will be restricted to Belladonna if they do not become their allies. Sidling gives the excuse that she is small, but Belladonna explains that if he is thinking that he needs to protect the seedling, then it's not like that, while Daisy is really in her seedling form. Jae-hee becomes angry upon hearing Sidling's words. Suddenly, the fire attacks. All move aside, but Belladonna gets hurt because she moves to the other side, being worried about Jae-hee because if she moves towards her, she will be harmed because Belladonna has the ability to harm the surrounding area when she is in the field. The carriage attacks lava constantly. The more they act, the more restricted their actions will be for Belladonna. Jae-hee said Sidling shouldn't be stubborn and sent her party request, as his dryad got hurt because of his stubbornness. Jae-hee doesn't know how to make a party request, but her phone rings, and she sees the phone switch from wallet mode to Stonehenge mode and connected to the artifact network. She received a request from Sidling on her phone to join the party, and she joined it. The fences between the terrarium artifacts open temporarily, and a Stonehenge is formed between the Sidling and Jae-hee terrariums. The Stonehenge initiative is 90% for Sidling and 10% for Jae-hee. The party formation is not only about forces, but it also feels different, and Jae-hee was not feeling that close to him before. Elders don't want to be a part of the party, but there is no time to even think about that. He uses his stick, and his specialty has bloomed. The human-shaped fires start coming out of the carriage all at once. Mesquite suggests that they can't just slice them into fires because they remember what happened in the dandelion habitat, but it will also not be a good idea to just take offense by putting out the defense. Daisy is good at blocking attacks, but she can't just blow out the fire in one strike. Plus, Mesquite also doesn't want to stop Elder from using his wide-range healing to use his buff because Elder's healing is keeping Dryad's momentum. Sidling calls Belladonna, and as she touches Sidling's hand, a transparent barrier covers them up. Suddenly, a boulder appears, and as Sidling touches Mallow's hand, grass appears. Jae-hee doesn't get what they are doing, and it seems like an illusion, but Elder tells her that it's a field declaration. It's a druid ability to take the artifact into the real world, and it turns a field into a natural environment that is suitable for dryads because it helps them become stronger while they are in their suitable environment. Jae-hee is unable to believe that he overlays different fields at a time, and she is curious how big the Sidling soul limit will be. Jae-hee now accepts that Sidling is incredible, and she is doubtful if she can do this too. The environment boosts up the dryads, Elder healing becomes stronger, and Daisy starts fighting back. Mallow is doing something using his crystal ball. Mesquite got something they were doing and helped them by putting out fire around Mallow. Cardin follows Mesquite's actions, and Mallow is done with his crystal ball. Mallow has good news and bad news. He asks what they want to hear first, and Jae-hee says good news. Mallow says that there are 6 normal fires and 3 rare fires, and they can get rid of them without any difficulty. Mallow suggests Belladonna use her sorcery. Belladonna passed her weapon to Sidling, and he used it. Several purple balls affected the fires, which stopped them and all put out the fire easily at the same time. Jae-hee is filled with questions. Can a druid use Dryad's power, and how powerful can a druid be? Mesquite explains to Jae-hee that it is called graft, in which grafting the branches of the druid and Dryad's soul amplifies their power, and she cheers up Jae-hee that she will also be able to use it one day. The carriage comes again, and this time it seems more powerful. Jae-hee remembers she heard only good news, and it must be bad news. Mallow said that there was one more that appeared just now, which has a unique rank because it must have swallowed up a higher rank, Dryad, and he suggests they might need to run depending on the current situation. Sidling stands still in this situation and suggests they can't run away and that they need to deal with the fire before it gets worse. Jae-hee also doesn't want to step back, as they came this far and now they need to beat the boss. Seeing the difficulty level, the reward will also be as huge as the difficulty. Mallow says once they see the blazes that will appear, they might change their mind. The fire attacks with the bullets, or something seems more like the fire bombs. All defend themselves to avoid the bombs that explode and cover them with fire. The area is small, so it is difficult to dodge the bombs. Periwinkle Whip got affected by the fire, and Elder can't heal the weapons. At this rate, if the weapons get destroyed, then the game will be over. At the Jae-hee end, the defense is manageable because of Mesquite, but there will be no means if the other bouquet loses their attackers. The fire is continuously releasing lava, and Jae-hee now understands why the seedling said that if the fire swallows a higher-ranking dryad, then the fire becomes castrographically stronger. Jae-hee asked Elder if he has any other skills, as he is a healer. His role is a bit critical at this point. Elder seems to be struggling because it is not a small responsibility to heal a large group. Elder is doing his best, and because of him, all are still alive. Elder is healing the dryads again and again, even those who are about to die. Everyone is busy dodging attacks, but Elder is standing still in this situation. Jae-hee gets what she can do now. She grabs Elder Buff's stick. Mesquite tells Jae-hee that he can't hold on any longer, and they need to break the shield to come out of the tense situation. Jae-hee turns into a little tree, and she understands why they call the druid a tree. She is feeling herself like a sturdy tree. Jae-hee and Elder form the graft. The rain starts, which heals the wounds, and even the weapons start healing. The rain is a blessing of life that is given to all plants. Rain can affect the blaze, but it's not ordinary rain either. These droplets that are healing them are the same as the potions in the sap of the world tree. Jaehee understood from where the sap was coming. It's a special graft that Jaehee and Elder can use. The Dryad's power is the only one that can defeat the blaze. Elder's power melted Jaehee's diamonds and turned them into rain. All the Dryads get boosted and attack with their full potential. The burns from the lava healed immediately because of the rain. Mesquite realized that he doesn't need to defend anymore and that all attacks are at their full potential. Several diamonds appeared as the fire was put out. Daisy grows more, and she runs and lifts Jaehee up. She is still smaller than Jaehee, but for sure she becomes stronger than ever before. Daisy is now able to defeat more blazes, and she keeps getting stronger to protect Jaehee. Mesquite praises Daisy too, and now he can't call her a seedling. Elder alone is only capable of generating fog, but the rain that covers the wide area Elder got Jaehee used the diamonds, so he asked how many diamonds she has, but the diamonds are not going to end that easily because she has infinite diamonds. The area has been turned into a sanctuary, so the blaze will not be able to come to this area for a while. They had all never seen anything like that before. Elder species that Belladonna met was not that strong. Kalmia felt like she was back with the world tree and said that even seedlings wouldn't be able to use such an amazing skill. Mallow was concerned about Jaehee because he thinks that the rain was like raining thousands of bottles of potions, and she must have used her health at the place of world tree sap. Belladonna said that she is not a healer but can diagnose injuries, but Jaehee said that she is fine, but Sidling is confident that she must have hurt because using a skill like that requires even more than the power of grafting, and Sidling said to let Belladonna look, and there is no need to be afraid of her because she is not like her mother plant. Jaehee reveals that she didn't use the health, and the rain wasn't the world tree sap, but technically it was tree sap because the diamonds are crystallized forms of the world tree sap. Jaehee got an alert from her phone, and she saw a wagon. The gnomes have set the tape underground so that Jaehee can easily use diamonds. Belladonna is unable to believe, so she asked Jaehee again if the source of the rain was diamonds. Jaehee said that her soul limit is not as great as Sidling, but she has tons of diamonds. Sidling Dryads never saw a druid with lots of diamonds except his druid because he got so many diamonds fulfilling requests. All are surprised because the number of diamonds required to show such amazing power is incalculable. The artificial rain that covers a wide area and happens continuously for a long time is unbelievable for them. Jaehee shows Elder her phone screen, showing the diamonds number has increased by 10,000 diamonds. But the screen is seeing blank by the Elder, which means that only Jaehee can see it. Jaehee gives diamonds to Elder as an expression of appreciation for grafting. Jaehee told Sidling that he can keep all the diamonds that were dropped by the fire because she doesn't need them, as they can see. Jaehee shows attitude, as Sidling made her angry earlier, and she angrily told him to never meet again, and if they meet by any chance, then let's ignore each other. Before Sidling says anything, Belladonna calms her and says that is why he has to be careful while talking to people. Sidling silently disappears. That party is disbanded, and Jaehee never wants to meet Sidling again. Mesquite asks Jaehee if she really doesn't want to meet them so he can spread his roots to give them warning when they will come close to them. But she doesn't want Mesquite to do that as the Dryads were cool. There is only the Sidling that makes Jaehee angry. She was impressed by the Sidling fighting style with his Dryads, but Mesquite was impressed by the Jaehee and Elder graft. Jaehee wants to use it every time in the battle, but Mesquite explains that she can't use it whenever she wants because she needs to make a close relationship with her Dryads in order to use it again. Jaehee sees it as a special attack that can only be used when their meter is full. Elder says they don't need to be discouraged because they can build their relationship stronger and faster if they understand each other better, and Jaehee thinks that if she needs to give more diamonds to Elder to get a better bond. Daisy asks if she can also graft with Jaehee, but Mesquite says she still has a long way to go, and first she needs to grow her roots. Jaehee is curious to know what will happen when she grafts with Daisy and Mesquite, and when she grafts with them all at the same time. The sun is shining, and Jaehee is so tired that she even wants to roll down the hill. Jaehee sees them in the front and realizes they have reached the 28th terrarium. The 28th terrarium is covered with ashes and smoke. The protective barrier of the terrarium seems to have been destroyed, and its branch of the 28th terrarium has lost its powers. Moreover, Mesquite says that if the 28th terrarium is left like this, then the other terrarium will come into danger because it is like leaving a hole in the wall from which the blaze will come again and again through the opening. Additionally, the fire they fought before would be very rare to see in this region. Mesquite seems fearful that a great branch of the world tree can be defeated like this. Therefore, Jae-hee thought to first check the area with fewer blazes because maybe they can secure a path to town so they don't have to fight all the blazes of the 28th terrarium. Jae-hee got an emergency alert on her phone, and she hurried to the shortest path going there. They had experience from previous battles, which is helping them now get rid of blazes easily. Moreover, Elder lifts Jae-hee up and runs in the direction she told him. They reached, and there was a druid laying under the tree. Furthermore, blazes are gathering around him. They can't use their special move, but Elder gives his stick to Jae-hee to grab, and fog covers them up, acting like a barrier. Jae-hee is hoping the guy under the tree is fine, as she can sense the life in him. It seems like he has been waiting for so long. Additionally, Jae-hee gets another alert that shows that her artifact is connected to the Scarecrow artifact automatically because of the emergency mode. A Stonehenge is formed with the 100% ownership of Jae-hee. As the guy stands, the tree disappears. He says that he hung on for a long time, but now he and his dryad have reached their limit. Jae-hee offered water, but he didn't want it anymore. He is Scarecrow, the custodian of the 28th terrarium, and a sole survivor. He and his last dried arrowwood raised a barrier to prevent the blaze from leaving the terrarium, and if he left and went for help, then other terrariums would be in danger, so he was unable to go ask for help. There is a terrible blaze inside the walls, and if it ever gets out, then all the terrariums will be destroyed. He and his dryad used their health to graft for a long time. The druid has no more time left, and he asked Jae-hee to save the 28th terrarium. The druid was not asked to defeat the blaze, but telling the world about the tragedy of this terrarium will be enough, and the druid is happy to meet a druid who can tell others what happened to the 28th terrarium. Furthermore, Jae-hee got another notification that the network is disconnected and that druid has passed away. The blaze is attracted to dead bodies. They won't be able to dig a grave for him this time, but the best they can do is hide him. Additionally, Elder suggests they can't defeat that blaze on their own, but he suggests they take help from other terrariums. Jae-hee calls her dryads close, but Jae-hee hears a voice. But that's where this video ends. Remember to like and subscribe. If you want to see a part 5 of this recap, let us know in the comments section below. Till next time.